This is international soccer celebrity Chris Doran, and you're listening to ACES Radio.
The best part about being dad is make the babies. This one, no. Take it away.
Most honest answer we've gotten.
That's pretty dang cool.
Shall we begin?
You are now listening to an altogether less fashionable variety of soccer podcast. Broadcasting live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to
ACES Radio.
I got the new wings with the zebra flavor sauce.
I've given this no thought whatsoever.
Hashtag probably riding cock.
They're in your face, they're a little different. I think it's super cool. I love them. Jamie, ignorant slut.
Hold on to your butts.
Now, here are your hosts, Morgan Hughes, John Zadar, and Darby Schnarpus.
Oh, yeah, baby. Ignorant sluts, shitlords, and celebrity fans alike. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, it's already too late. You're tuned in to the latest, the lamest, possibly last episode of ACES Radio. It's a Buffalo Bills podcast only. Coming up tonight on the program, the failing continues as Cruisers FC remain winless all time against Bye-Week FC. The panel will discuss cracking the code. Tonight it makes its triumphant return as we try to decipher what Richard Subtle means when he uses words. Man balls, they're backdrafts, and they're thrown about as liberally as ever. I welcome you back to the show, my friend, and I ask you, where in the hell is John Zadar? Then on segment 2, the rarest of all rare treats, as a celebrity guest, unlike any other, which we definitely mean as a compliment, stops by the show. Wanda Ratzman is here, bitches. Is that an anagram? Is it a pseudonym? I don't know what either of those words mean, but you should tune in to find out. On segment 3, we head live on Periscope for your hot takes, aka the battle for the grand prize, and sweet mother of God. A logjam at the top of the standings this week, fellas, is users A, B, C, D, E, F, and Steps FC return to battle for hot take supremacy. Prediction scores, prediction updates, Cruisers versus football crabs, Hang on Tour, the Ags Attack War, and so much fucking more. Brought to you as always by benevolent corporate overlord sponsors Bloody Urine, and broadcasting live from the beautiful front room here at Endeavor Brewing Company. My name is the continuing champion, Morgan Hughes, aka the #1 handsy boy. And I'm joined, as always, by AAA, the absentee amateur artist himself, Captain Jean-Luc, the wet boy Zadar, and everyone's favorite ancient ruin, Darby, the 40-year-old man-child Schnarfitz. Fellas, mapaches, lads from different dads, brothers from different mothers, and amigos, de Guillermo, how in the hell have you been?
I'm going to mix things up this week, Morgan. I'm going to let John go first. John,
is that right?
How are you doing?
John Zadar, the wet boy.
I'm doing fine.
Oh, John, hey, welcome back to the show. You're on the wrong side of the table, and you're looking very lawyerman today, John. This
Ethan
hilarious.
my life.
You can't do an impression of yourself. Stop
I can't do an impression of him doing an impression of me, you're right.
Outrageous. All joking aside, lads, John Zadar's car is being fixed, I believe, at some sort of a car fixing place.
Yeah, it's probably broken down from having to travel from the suburbs like the suburbanite he is now.
From trying and failing to save the crew?
Yeah. He's doing a lot of driving, apparently, for not having saved the team yet.
Drabs, it's been over 8 months.
Yeah.
Since Grant Wall's tweet of failure, of authenticity.
Yep.
And John Zadar's been trying to save the crew the whole time, and yet he hasn't. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's had so many opportunities. Literally every day he could just wake up and say, you know what, today's going to be the day I'm going to save the crew. And yet he has not done it.
Nothing.
Well, to be fair, Precourt is doing a great job of saving the crew. So.
Oh, he's doing a bang-up job.
he's
His
doing a
lawyers
job.
also.
Yeah.
There.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing the sound of the lobsterman's voice, that can mean only one thing. Second placeman all time in the ACES Radio guest standings is here to talk to us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. 18th time, long time, Todd Fichtenberg. Todd Fichtenberger.
Somewhere right now, Travis Irvine is screaming into the sky, and he has no idea why.
And then he's like, what?
Oh, no, we're friends now.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we're
best
on
friend lunch,
Best
remember?
Friends Club.
I mean,
No,
he's
it's
still
best friend
screaming
lunch.
into the sky. I mean, you can be best friends and be competitive.
No, we're on a whole new level. There's no jealousy left with that. No.
Was that right?
That's right.
Well, you both have like a hatred of Bob O'Shaughnessy in common?
Who's that?
Oh my God, it's fucking roasted. Jesus Christ. Moving on to housekeeping before we get into the meat and
Potatoes.
potatoes of ACES Radio. 2 pieces of housekeeping today,
2 pieces
lads.
of potatoes.
Yeah. You know what's funny today? The housekeeping is going to be legitimate, like soccer news, and we're just going to just move
I
right
thought
past
you
it.
were going to say it's legitimate housekeeping. Like you're going to bust out the brooms and we're going to go to Moffrey.
I clean this room
shit.
every Thursday around 4:45 p.m. before I set up. Anyway, Drapus, how dare you? Zach Steffen has a knee injury, according to celebrity roast beefman Andrew Erickson. He is not traveling to play Los Angeles Football Craft on Saturday night. He's going to have an MRI. So stay tuned to the Aces Radio Twitter account for retweets from people who talk shit about how old Darby is. Second piece of housekeeping, Josh Williams out today at practice with concussion-like symptoms. Drabs, he must have read the FAQ section on MLS2ATX.com. Your thoughts?
I remember like a week ago when the team was completely healthy.
I do.
That was great.
Yeah.
I love that.
What the hell?
It was
We didn't even
fantastic.
play this weekend.
Right. We got more injuries against bye week FC than against
shit.
any other team in the league.
Winless against Bye Week FC. Todd, what's happening here? Crack the code on these injuries, my friend. No game.
Maybe it's just Greg being Greg. Maybe they're not real injuries.
How about no?
Moving on.
You were pushing that button before I even
I
responded.
sure was.
so-
I sure was. No game to recap this week, lads, other than Eagles FC smashing to bits the futility that is Empire
Yeah.
FC.
Do you want to go ahead and talk
about?
about that? Do you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
give us a really detailed analysis of
Drabs.
your impressions of the game?
I would love to do nothing more.
Yeah, okay,
However,
so go ahead.
We have a whole thing to talk about today, and tune in to segment 3 because we will talk about it when we do prediction scores and prediction updates. It's going to be great. I know I'll be there, Darby.
Well, it'd be a first.
Drabs, what if I told you there was a cure to the scourge that is you being a person who I am definitely not a friend, best friend with, and I hate you? What if I said that to you?
I have plenty of best friends. Also breast friends.
I have plenty of breasts.
Yeah, that's a different group. Fuck you. I don't need your friendship. Morgan.
That's right, Darby. They say the only cure to the scourge that are breasts is knowledge.
And now,
Yeah, it's knowledge.
an ACES radio exclusive.
What does it all mean, Panther?
Cracking the code. They say it.
Everything we do is for the city.
We explain it.
Who we are is for the city.
You reap the benefits.
What? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yeah!
And it's all for Columbus.
For Columbus, indeed. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls alike, to another edition of Greg's Explanations, which was going to be called Cracking the Code, but Podcast for Columbus is failing and sad.
Podcast for what?
Everyone loves me. Everyone loves my jokes. My jokes are funny.
Yeah, it took me a while. I finally got the Los Angeles Football Craft thing.
Oh,
It took
did
me
you?
a couple of times.
Yeah.
That's from the 2008 Super Draft, right?
You're exactly right, Todd.
Right.
Which just happened like this year.
Yes.
It's crazy how time works. Todd, I want to welcome you in for a very specific reason. Steve Abreu is unavailable tonight.
And who else?
Travis Irvine?
Every other lawyer
There we go.
that
There we
we've ever known, met, or have heard of.
All the lawyers who don't practice in this jurisdiction are unavailable, so yeah,
Right.
got stuck with me.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So welcome into ACES Radio. You are a lawman by trade. A lot of people are calling you an average one at best.
That's fair.
That's completely fair.
That's fair.
Your own grandmother told me that. That was. I'm like, whoa, can you just relax a second? Don't you love him? And she's like, no, no.
Now, do you have a
said,
specialty,
okay.
Todd? Because I've heard from lots of lawyers that basically all lawyers are the same, that they all practice the same thing. There's no difference among them, but some claim to have specialties. Do you have one of those?
It's definitely different. Everybody does different things.
No, they're all the same.
No.
That's
It's
pretty
just-
dang cool.
No, but I work at a general practice, so we do a little bit of everything, which is kind of jack
So,
of all trades, master of none. But there are some people who do specifically one area of law, and that's it. There's people who work for the
That's
city.
pretty.
There's people who work
That's
for
pretty-
the attorney general,
That's pretty dang cool.
criminal defense attorneys, prosecutors.
That's pretty dang
Yep.
cool.
So when a college student gets a DUI, they should come to you. And when Morgan gets arrested for not wearing pants as he's walking through Upper Arlington, he should come to you.
Yeah, come to me and I'll give you a referral to a criminal lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when Alex Thomas is high in public, he should come to you.
No, that's a criminal law issue. So not to me.
So you specialize.
I don't specialize.
Sorry, would you like to move on, Morgan?
I basically do everything but Medicaid planning, tax, and criminal. So
That's like 80% of law.
unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah.
Bing on!
You just lost all the listeners.
Lads!
Man,
all
segment
7 of them
one
are-
is going
okay.
too fast. I really have to bog this shit down.
Yeah. So this happened late in the afternoon, so I didn't have a time to get out my recording device and throw it between my thighs and go speak into my good thigh and get a quote from anyone, Todd. But all this to say, Anthony Precourt, Major League Soccer, they had put forward a motion to dismiss this case, the Modell Law, Ohio Revised Code 19.96. That case, that motion, as it turns out, was dismissed today officially by County Clerk of Pleas, Judge Joe Brown, which you can find on any sort of like television at like 4:30 p.m. So, Todd, I wanted you to come in and basically like crack this code for us. Now, we know it was dismissed, but there's some words in there that I don't understand. I'm just a simple, unfrozen caveman lawyer. Your newfangled cell phones scare and confuse me. So break it down for us. What happened today?
Everything you said was wrong, first of all. I want to point that out.
I love the fact that
Do you have any specific questions I can answer?
There was a whole bunch of words in there, man. Like, there's a whole paragraph of stuff that was like blah, 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 blah. And I read it and my eyes glossed over. What did because when they make a decision, they have to say why, and they have to reference things, and they have to say, based on this fucking stupid case and that fucking stupid case, like, this fucking stupid case is or is not a thing. So just kind of like tell us what you read today as a lawman. What did you take away from this?
Well, I thought there's cracking the code. I thought you were going to play me a clip or something.
I've already explained to you that I didn't have my pocket recorder this afternoon.
Yeah, remember in the beginning where he said cracking the code was going to be when Richard Settle uses words?
No.
And then at some point in the day he said, oh, crap, we should talk about the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And I can't get
I
a
was
recording.
busy. Yeah.
Because there's no
I
audio.
already put the board away. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be very unusual for you to give me the mic because usually everybody interrupts me, asks me questions.
They do what?
Ask me irrelevant questions.
Why would they do that?
And
I don't
so I have the
understand what you're
floor?
saying here.
Is that what's going on here?
This episode of the Master Report podcast is brought to you as always by Grand Brewing Company. That's right. Welcome in, Todd.
Well, we lost John Zidar signal. He's going to have to call back in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alex?
No, he's gone.
Alex, Hello, Alex.
I'm Alex.
Oh, there he is.
I'm intolerable.
Awesome. Alex, thanks for checking in. Todd, back to you.
Thank you. So this was the appeal. The motion to dismiss the appeal happened. We still have the trial court case. That's still going on. That's the lawsuit from Attorney General of the City of Columbus. On May 8th, Judge Brown issued the order that basically told
And told means pause?
Yeah, basically extended the time period for 3 months. And then the same thing happened with discovery. MLS has cried and said, we don't want to give discovery. And then they said, well, we'll reveal the information when we're ready to do it. And then the judge said, well, we'll give you 90 days where you don't have to give us any information. But if there's a buyer that wants to come in, you have to do negotiations through the court, and the court's going to seal it, and the court's going to look over everything. And court is just another fancy word for judge. So
yeah. Basically,
the judge is going to do that. Well, they weren't happy. MLS and PSV weren't happy. So they filed an appeal. Oh. Exactly. And then the city and the state, the AG, they filed their motion to dismiss the appeal for jurisdictional reasons, which is interesting because that's one of the things all the lawyermen and lawyer-women were talking about was this is not an appealable order. And I think this is one of the things that shows a little bit of, I don't ever want to criticize my fellow lawyermen, but maybe a little bit of arrogance and a little bit of outsider information there with New York City lawyers. I was talking to one New York City lawyer who said that it's common to appeal everything in New York City. Well, you're not in New York City. You're in Franklin County, Ohio. So you need to understand the rules here. And that's one of the things I immediately thought is this isn't a final appealable order because under Ohio law, before an appeals court can hear a case, you pretty much have to finish the whole case. So there are some exceptions to that. PSV and MLS tried to argue there were some exceptions to it, and the appeals court today said no.
So it wasn't necessarily a bad appeal. The timing of it was just kind of amateur.
Well, I think both. I don't know if amateur is the right word, but I think it wasn't a... If they really thought that the court was going to rule on something that the trial court hadn't even ruled on, that's the part that kind of boggles my mind a little bit, is why would you appeal something? The trial court hasn't even made a decision on the constitutionality of the law. They haven't granted or denied the motion to dismiss. They haven't even done anything except for put this little order on that actually gives one of the relief that PSV and MLS asked for. They asked for a stay on discovery, and they got it. And then now they're appealing this order. So that part was kind of strange to me, but...
Isn't there only two possibilities? Like either they're not informed. I won't say stupid because that would be mean, and I respect my fellow lawmen. They're either not informed enough or there's something nefarious going on here.
No, I don't think it's nefarious. I think it's...
What's the most
I think
likely?
it's a little bit of arrogance, saying, we're going to trample this. And there might be a little bit of big firm play going on, saying, hey, we've got 100 associates, several lawyers working on it. Let's build time.
What's a normal amount of associates?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't have it.
Is
I'm
100?
the only associate at my firm, so...
So it's as low as one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're talking about a big New York City firm, not a little tiny two-lawyer Reynoldsburg firm. So that might be part and parcel to their practice, is they just crank out motions. That's all they do, crank out motions and file things.
But are they normally this bad a motion? That's one thing that strikes me, is if you have 100 associates who can work on this stuff, why are they putting together such garbage and submitting to the courts?
Actually, I don't think the arguments are garbage per se. I think that their tone is definitely... This is why I think it's more the New York City firm driven, because it's very disrespectful to the court. And they're basically saying, hey, court, you're too dumb to understand this, so we're going to tell you clearly, obviously, you have to rule in our favor. And Franklin County judges do not like that. They don't like you to make fun of the court, and they don't want you to diss other attorneys, like saying stuff like... I've seen stuff in briefs like, if my opposing counsel would have gone to law school, he would understand this basic concept. They do not like that kind of stuff. So from
Studio audience loved it, though.
So from a basic subliminal standpoint, the tone of the AG's briefs and the City of Columbus briefs is much better. And also, since they actually practice before these courts, they understand that. So that's why I think it's New York City driven. The tone seems more adversarial than necessary.
I agree.
But one thing about the appeal the decision today by the court that was interesting is that it was on page 2 of the first word say per curiam, and that just means by the court. So it wasn't actually an authored decision by any particular judge with a dissent and a concurrence. All three judges on the panel agreed.
In English, please.
All three judges basically agreed, and it's a decision of the court.
Unanimous.
So
Okay. Oh, it was unanimous.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
it's not actually a decision. It's not actually a decision that one judge decided or whatever. They said, let's all three agree on this and put out this decision. So it was things
That's the kind of cracking the code shit that I come to ACES Radio for.
So lawyermen like me and like the gentleman
Morgan
in Seattle.
Hughes.
It's too bad he's a Sounders fan.
Miki Turner.
Oh man, it's too bad.
I mean, I'd have a beer with him.
I would have a Coke with him for sure. Yeah, I've already said if I ever come to Seattle or you come here, make sure you let me know.
I'd do a rail of Coke with him.
But we've been talking.
Are we doing? Is this like an? Yeah. Okay. No.
I think.
All right.
And one thing about advocacy, I've seen a lot of people talk negatively about, these lawyers, how dare they advocate for MLS? Well, it's their client.
Yeah.
So I don't hold that against them because that's what they're paid to do.
Yeah,
so
it's their
they
job.
need to look for things that assist their client. And so maybe they legitimately thought that this appeal would work. But everybody I've talked to, jurisdiction was the first thing that came to mind that said this court doesn't have jurisdiction. This is not a final appealable order. So actually the decision wasn't that long from the 10th District. It was actually pretty short, and it dispatched a lot of their arguments without too much analysis, but it just basically said this is not a final appealable order. We don't know how many times we can reiterate that. And one thing I did find interesting, too, is they talked about one of the things MLS and PSV argued was that because it was an injunction without being called an injunction. What injunction means is a court order to do something or to not do something.
Okay.
So they were saying, assuming arguendo, which is Spanish for argudo.
Oh my God.
The
Sounds
argument,
like a
it's just
pizza topping.
just one of those dumb lawyer words that for the sake of argument, arguendo. If you
How
ever
much
see
of
it.
lawyering is just unnecessary Latin words?
A lot of it.
Really? Okay.
A lot of it, like
How much of law school is learning unnecessary Latin
Like
words?
$1,000 an hour to write them.
Yeah,
none
no
of it,
shit.
and that's actually.
Then how the hell do you know all
If you
this
ever
stuff?
look at deeds, it's
I look at deeds all the time. Go
learn
on.
by doing, but language is loud. Like now come all men by these presents. Like I don't have a clue what that means.
That's so stupid.
So when we start, when we do a motion, it's like now comes John Smith by and through counsel. I kind of eliminate some of that unnecessary language.
Here's
from-
John.
Yeah.
He's my dude.
Yeah, John
John
Smith
says.
Yeah.
motions. But anywho, so the court said even assuming that, for sake of argument, that it was an injunction, PSV and MLS have an opportunity. Are not losing all their rights because at the end of the case they can appeal.
Yeah.
So
Where does this put us in terms of the lawsuit? Because we have 2 Cracking the Code clips, and we want to have time to get to the second one.
well, when we're doing the first one,
We're doing the first one right now.
I didn't hear any clips.
Todd, how dare you? Second of all, where? So okay, here's my question.
You're
Now-
cracking the case.
Yeah. This
So-
is welcome back to
Code.
Cracking the Code.
First, the best way to describe it is nothing happened.
Okay.
So May 8th, the order came out from the court with the, was it 3 months or 6 months? I can't remember, but I think it's a 3-month
90
pause.
days.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
3-month pause, 3-month stand discovery, that's still in place. So,
Okay, yeah. See, I keep
so
getting
it's as if nothing
confused.
happened. Just pretend nothing happened.
I keep getting confused. I keep confusing the motion to dismiss and the toll. Those are 2 separate things
Two
for
separate
idiots
things.
like me.
Yeah.
The toll is still in place.
Although time has passed since the
Well,
toll
that's
should
true.
But not
have
90
played.
Time has passed, so we're still looking at August as
August.
being the first anything happens with
Yeah.
it. And, and if anybody submits any offers and if any discovery motions to compel or anything like that are filed,
Yeah.
or the court orders them to turn over anything. That's another thing that's disingenuous about MLS PSV is they've publicly said, oh, we'll turn over the documents that people want. And then they argue in their briefs, how dare this court order us to turn over information, which, by the way, the court has not ordered them to turn out any information.
How do you do this as a like a professional when you like have to say in their briefs or like the briefs thing to me just screams underpants. And you're like, oh, when they argued in their briefs, I think like 2 guys in the living room going, how dare you? That was my yogurt, and you took it. I know you took it. I found the fucking yogurt wrapper. Is that what they have, Darby? They wrap it, and then
Yeah, they wrap
I
it,
found
yeah.
the yogurt wrapper in your
Candy
room.
bar.
And they argued in their briefs. Todd, explain that. Crack that code, bitch.
That makes no sense, but brief is also a misnomer because they're usually pretty long. Like, I don't think a 30-page paper is a brief. That should be like a
And when you say their briefs are usually long, that's also funny. I keep laughing.
not.
Long
I don't
johns.
get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on one second. Welcome back to the program.
John Zadar has coughed into the microphone.
Sean Sitar. Welcome back.
So your call dropped, but welcome back. We got you back on the Skype call, so that's good.
John, are you there?
Oh, is this Matthew?
We lose John?
Hello? Can you hear me?
We lose John?
Best friend? Can you hear me?
I can definitely-
You're
I
can definitely
okay,
hear you,
good.
best
You're the
friend.
only ones
Yes.
I'm worried about?
Yeah, I can definitely hear
All
you.
Best
of
Friends
us
Club
are in the
lunch?
same club. That's right. I
Wait,
agree with
who's
that.
that?
He doesn't even
I
know
think-
what's
We wouldn't be
about.
having this problem if we'd be using the best friends line.
Yeah, is there
I
somebody
agree.
extra
Except we're
on the
using,
line?
or we must
I
be
think
using
I-
Morgan's.
I know exactly what line that is. Just refresh my memory very quickly. What line? What number should I be calling?
No,
4.
4? Okay. It's all right. That's
if
what
you
I remember.
if you were allowed to access it, you'd know it.
John,
Just
I'm
dial
calling
4.
Right now.
It'll
Here we
be
go.
fine.
It's best friend lunch, not
Morgan,
best friends club.
Colin.
Are you
Best
calling?
Friends
Are you trying to
Club.
fax
Hello,
a
Best Friends
landline?
Club.
This is going to piss Joey off.
This is Morgan.
We
Welcome to
don't
Best
use
Friends.
dial-up.
No, we don't. Of course,
No.
we haven't in years, or have we never have.
You tell us.
That's what I'm saying.
Why would he tell us? He doesn't know because he's not a part of it.
Todd, last thoughts on this first of 2 Cracking the Code clips in less than 1,000 words.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
What did he do? What are we holding on
his,
for?
his iPad, he just scrolled. Like
Jeez,
his thoughts
Lou.
involved scrolling.
No, I was actually going to read the last. All you need to do is read the last sentence of the decision, and it's great. It says, appellants, which is MLS, PSV, have not met the burden with respect to the trial court's May 8 order. In other words, haven't met their burden that the appeal should go forward. And we do not have a final appealable order in the matter. Appellee's motion to dismiss is granted, and this appeal must be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. I mean, that's really all you need to know.
Oh my God, roasted. Oh, they burned him so bad.
Yeah, they did.
To me, that doesn't sound like a roasting.
No, it does not.
To
Is
be
that
fair,
illegal
I'm not
roasting?
the one who said it was a roasting. I think it was Derbs that said it was a roasting. I said that's all you need to
I
know.
felt like he let it up to be like it was
Yeah.
going to be a roasting.
Todd was like, here's the best
You were like,
line.
that last line
The
is
appeal is
just...
denied.
Well, remember earlier
Killer.
when we were talking about respect, how we respect the court? This court
What's
will
that?
treat the lawyers with
what
respect
word
as
is it?
well. What's that?
What word is it?
Respect.
Respect.
Oh, with that T?
respect.
Like with the T on the end?
Yes, because we're still legal professionals, so we do try to spell words correctly.
you
We
guys-
might make up words.
Do you guys do things in all caps like we do?
I'm
Sometimes.
sorry, I'm not going to be
Certain-
lectured about professionalism from a guy who argues with other men in their briefs.
And doesn't know how to spell respect.
Yeah.
No, respect refers to soccer, but legal men's, we still use respect. We're a little bit old-fashioned like that. We still use fax machines, let's be honest. But no,
well.
but I think that's as close as you can get. The
Was
court's,
that for me?
The court's not
That
going
was
to
for
burn
John.
somebody, but, you know,
But that's as close as
it's
you
like
get.
they're saying, hey, dummies,
Right.
this is so obvious, we don't know why you filed a brief. That's the way I read it. But
It's
it might
more
be
of a, like, expressing their annoyance.
I feel that's the way I felt. I may
But
be
in
misreading
Latin.
that because I was happy with the decision, but that's
Yeah.
kind of the way I took it. Like, really, guys, nice try, but no.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
Ain't nobody got time for
I'm okay with I think the court should take that tone with people.
I've always
if you
thought that.
Like,
waste
don't fucking-
my
yeah,
fucking
like-
time.
We all
Check
know.
YouTube for the video of the judges who do act like that, and they get removed pretty quickly. So
Really?
I watch it.
That's
I-
not true because Judge Judy has been on TV for like 20 years.
she's not a real judge.
Yeah.
You shut your filthy mouth.
She's a mediator, arbitrator. She's not
filthy
a judge.
mouth.
So.
Hold on.
There are three of them.
You mean I could have a TV show and call myself a judge?
Oh, sure. I mean, they refer here in Franklin County too. If
But
you have
she
an
used
interesting
to be
enough case to refer you,
She used to be a
To
judge.
Judge Judy?
right? So each side signs a binding arbitration agreement that says whatever Judge Judy says happens, and the show pays for whatever the award is. So I mean, it's not a
Oh,
bad
so
deal.
that's kind of a win-win.
yeah,
Wait, so even the loser doesn't have to pay?
right.
But she was a judge.
The
in
show
New York
pays
City
on their
for years.
behalf
Yeah.
for the content.
John, why don't
So
you
they only take small time.
That's
shit,
kind of a
though.
job that I want.
John,
Yeah,
why
that'd
don't
be
you
fun.
sue me and then we'll go on Judge Judy?
We don't
And-
get paid for being on the show. They just cover the legal costs.
No, you sue me
right?
for $10,000.
Oh, will you give me
I
five?
think it's small
And
claims. I think
yeah.
it's 6,000 or
Oh,
less.
okay.
Yeah. We split.
Okay,
it,
6,000 or less.
6,000 or less, I believe.
I mean, I would do it for
would
100.
This is going to be your least listened to show in the history of the show.
That's saying a lot, Todd.
Morgan's bored because he's just sitting over there pushing drops with like the grim.
Morgan's
the,
like, "Bring it
the
back
most
to me.
fierce
When do I
grimace
get
I've
to
ever
talk?"
seen on his
I think
face.
Darbs has yawned a few times. I think it's past his bedtime.
We want it now.
Also,
That's right. This is happening.
Oh, we're playing weather now.
Oh yeah. No,
Let me tell you, it's
It
raining.
is 77
Thanks, John.
degrees and rain and overcast.
Okay, back to cracking the code. We have another clip. This is this is the meat and
Another clip.
potatoes
this is the potatoes.
of cracking the
First
code.
was the meat.
So this morning,
I want to say I was reading a transcript and
You're actually supposed to
can't
work.
believe this.
I actually said meat and potatoes. Like I was reading through it, so I blame you. It's your fault.
Somebody did say meat and potatoes today on
I need
on
to be
Reddit.
more professional.
In the MLS subreddit, I was like, "What? Who is it?" Anyway, so yesterday, Richard Settle goes on Twitter, or goes to Chris Bills and says, "Hey, I have a horrible mistake I'd like to make. Can you write this down?" And Chris says, "Yeah, sure. Go ahead, idiot." And he said the horrible mistake, Draps. I comes to Richard Settle's house and I says, "Richard, can I call you Dick?" And he said, "Literally everyone does." Can you repeat what you said to?
Wait, his name is Dick Suckle?
Yes, that's right, John. It's great to have you back, by the way.
You're welcome.
Everyone loved that.
He comes in right away
Yeah.
with the hot take.
Love it, love it.
Genitals are my area.
I said, Dick, can you repeat what you said to Chris Bills into my pocket recorder? And he said, Morgan, absolutely I can. And he had the following to say in 3, 2, 1.
There's 10 other cities that would like to have a soccer team. They're willing to put forward a lot of incentives to get one. If we have to wait for months to see if McCall is going to work or not, then I think we have no other option but to look at other cities. Hashtag YOLO Snake 24 Snake Blaze. Let me boondoggle.
Absolutely fucking great. That's right, Richard Settle. Slaughtermax, big family.
You're all three of you are clapping at different times.
We're white people. This is
actually
what we do.
It's actually impressive.
We're
Like,
white as hell. Look how white we are.
Nice. Always we see it.
This is called popcorn, John. This is what popcorn sounds like when you play it over music. Slaughtermax. Your fake family in China needs money. Send it to them. So Richard Settle goes on to Chris Bills yesterday, Drabs, and he says this is in response to Leslie Poole's the proposal they're bringing forward for the RFP.
Daring to make this a competitive process.
Correct.
Can you explain to us what an RFP is? I'm not sure what that means.
It's a redundant feral puppy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
that
Try
right?
again.
Oh, it's
One
like
more-
Gary.
Give it one more time.
It's a
Just like Gary.
It's a red frontal penis.
Nope.
Is that right,
No.
John? I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
No. You
It's
just
a-
described Richard Settle.
That's what I was trying to do. That.
Oh,
is that
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Great to
Andy.
have you back, John.
You thought Andy?
Let's dive into this because I love this. This is a guy, and I wanted to read a quote from
He doesn't know what RFP means.
from
Request for proposal.
from Steve Sirk today.
Thanks, John.
He knows it.
Said it second.
He knows
for the
it, yeah.
record.
In case you
Did
guys,
you hear how he mimicked the words as I said them?
I said them?
He was like watching my lips,
watching
like
my lips.
request for proposal. Yes,
That's
that.
right, John.
Best friend's lunch was at Chipotle.
That's right. I had so much fun at Fusion. That's right. If you don't know this, Steve Sirk, longtime monkey wearing a monocle in crew fandom, he has a Patreon that you can support, and when you do that, you get your email. You get an email every day, Drabs, and it's like, Steve Sirk has written about his trip to Venice. And you're like, well, that's not why I'm doing this. And, occasionally he'll write about the crew, and you're like, that's what I wanted. Today was one of those days, John. He says the following about the statement that we just heard. Here's a threat of relocating relocation, but it's not made by Precourt, who loves Austin and would never think to hold a community hostage for his own personal gain. The threat itself...
Are you going to read his whole article?
Yes.
Why don't you send people to the website?
This is good.
Where they're supposed to pay him money for it.
Definitely go there.
He
This is a part of it. This is just a part of it. Since there will actually not be any delay in the timeline is not an issue. It's the same timeline whether or not the proposals are even considered. But even if it actually were about the timeline, going to another city and starting over does not speed up the process. Darby, that's a very important aspect here, because Richard Suttle is saying if we have to wait multiple months, we got to go to another city. August 9th is the deadline, no matter which direction you go in, even if it's both of them. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, this is maybe the emptiest and most laughable threat that Suttle has thrown out there so far. The whole concept of we might just pull stakes and start over somewhere else is ridiculous. If you want to go to one of the other potential expansion cities, well, first of all, it's not entirely clear you can because of the Austin clause, which, while none of us have seen it, Garber himself has referenced.
He has.
Yes.
But you're starting over at square one with any other city. Maybe they have a location picked out for their thing, but they probably also have an ownership group picked out for their team. You would have to start over from the very beginning, and if you don't want to deal with months, 2 months in Austin, go ahead and deal with 6 months in some other city to get back to where you were.
If not even longer, it's going to be months just looking at the other cities and
figuring out which city you
and
even
then
want to
once you've picked one, got to go there and do the legwork that you're bad at.
Yeah, there's no way in hell you're anywhere else in 2019 if you try and pick another city.
Guys, this crew to Austin thing has been in the works since 2013. 2013.
Right.
That's 5 years if my math is right, and it always is. Todd Fichtenberg, we'll keep going around on this, so this isn't your last thought, Draps. Don't, just relax. Todd Fichtenberg, your thoughts.
Couple thoughts. So nobody knows exactly what...
Thank you for clearing your voice right.
I had to bite it back.
A couple of thoughts.
It did sound very lawyerly, didn't
it did. Yeah. It sounded brief.
Thank you. My voice needs work. Can you...
Respect.
Can you make it deeper on those controls, please?
Can you auto-tune?
You're good to go.
Okay. No, I lost my train of thought. What we're talking about? So the Austin clause. Nobody really knows what it says, but the thought is that it is the largest city without a professional sports team or something like that.
Yeah,
and that it can only be moved to that place within 10 years.
Right.
I'm sorry, I said it backwards. That's the only way they can move out of Columbus in 10 years.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. First of all, it seems like an empty threat, because if that is what the contract actually says and it can only be Austin, well, then they have to wait.
I would assume that is not true based on his statement. I would assume that that's the only city he can move to without a vote from the Board of Governors.
Gotcha.
Is what I'm now guessing. What are you doing there?
So it would be something worth seeing.
Todd asked for his thing to be turned up, so I did. Go ahead.
And then the second thought is, it's terrible negotiation. Okay, wait.
You asked for your thing to be turned up, so I did. Go. You can keep going.
No, I didn't ask for
thing turned up.
Oh, you're also on the same channel, Draps.
Awesome.
John, you and I can speak normally.
Oh, let's have a conversation.
John, let me talk to you first.
When do you
I
think
need to say my second point, and I'll keep doing this until
really
I turn it off.
Pedro Bourbon.
There we go. Is that better? No, you need to turn it off.
Go. No, you can keep going, Todd.
Do you want to?
Do you want me to keep talking like this?
Yeah.
All right. So my second thought is that it's terrible negotiation.
No, butts don't get washed in Echo.
They're really that's a really poor negotiation and business tactic. Again, their poor businessing is what's going to save the crew.
I agree.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
It's not apples to apples, but let's say I'm negotiating an accident and I'm like, I will only take $1 million and that's it. Another side comes back and says, nah, we're going to give you $1. And I'm like, oh, just kidding. I will only take $500,000 and that's it. And then I'm just keep bidding against myself. It makes no sense. You've already promised one city that you're going to stay there, and then you want your stadium, and then we give you the stadium that you want, and now you're going to another city and saying, well, just kidding about the tax like I used in that city, but I mean it this time. It's just it's Bush League.
It's almost too ridiculous, John, to compare to. I mean, like we as humans like to compare things to other things to make it make sense, so that we can experience this thing together. And go, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. It's exactly like that. This is too absurd to compare to other things. When you're like, oh, it's almost like they blah, blah. No, it's like they're threatening to leave a city that they haven't been in and they aren't at. And they haven't left their first one. It's crazy pants Magoo. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's surreal. It's a surreal tactic. But it's not the first time that I think they've kind of done something where everyone was like, "What?
Yeah,
what are you doing?"
Every time they make a noise,
yeah,
you're
like, and I made the joke on Twitter the other day that like the parallels between them and like Trump. The current, United States government officials is very oddly closely aligned, and Subtle feels very Giuliani to me, and someone who goes on air and I think he thinks he's got this like big like heavyweight punch that he's throwing, and he's actually just kicking himself in the dick, and you're just like, you came in here thinking that was a good thing that you were about to say, right?
Yelled at?
Like what?
Anytime you have to circle back and instantly like clarify your statement, that's never a good thing.
Yeah, it's just like two different groups of like privileged white men who think that they know what's best, and they do not. And it's just like a matter of time until they get what they deserve.
Yeah. We go now live to PSV headquarters. We actually have a microphone there, and we'll just engage it in 3, 2, 1. Oh, press it twice. There it is.
That stutter really made the joke.
Yeah. So, Morgan, do you remember when you said, there's no way to make a metaphor for this?
Yes.
And then John turned around and instantly made a really perfect metaphor for it?
Yes, I
that
do
was
remember
awesome.
that.
I remember that.
Oh, sorry, the microphone is still on to PSV headquarters. Okay. Actually, we have a quote from Anthony Precourt if you'd like to hear that.
Is it in echo?
No, John, it's actually him in 3, 2, 1.
So how about I come over there and go to town on your money and on your ass?
Are you sure this is actually from Precourt? Because he doesn't really ever say or do anything.
Yeah. Also, the only person whose ass he's going to town on currently is probably Subtle.
Oh, my fucking God, roasted. I don't know how
Yeah,
he
can you
comes
take
back
your
from
tape
that.
recorder and go to Precourt's house in Columbus that he bought 5 years ago and use that?
Ew, that like really gross, echoey, orgasmic O that you just did.
Are you the one who piped in that those sounds at that one time Warner game?
I love it.
That was
I wonder if I
Angela
could turn it
Porter.
Maybe I turn it up on the sound effects. Yeah, I think I can. Is that up?
Yes. Oh my God.
That was pretty good.
Okay.
Shitballs.
Welcome to episode 90 where Morgan.
I hope
finally
you've
started
been.
fucking
I
with the
hope
sound
you
board.
sat down before the segment and took your psychedelics.
Yeah.
This is the week before Adam Jardy is on.
Yeah.
Now he's going to listen and not want to come on anymore.
Jesus.
When
What is
Alex
this?
I'm sure his dog will
listens to this,
throw up
he's
or
gonna
something.
blow his mind.
There we go.
Speaking of Adam Jardy,
There we go.
I want to plug the last Soccer Speakeasy.
Oh, yeah, no, please do. That was enjoyable.
Listen to that and the
Also
anger
watch
and
it.
frustration that Adam shares, because I know he doesn't get to do much of it on Twitter because he's got the OSU men's basketball beat.
And a sick dog.
But his stories and the insight to his conversations with Precourt are incredible. And towards the end, when he talks about his relationship with fans, I may have shed a tear or two.
Oh, I definitely didn't. No.
It was
That would be
it was
absurd and
awesome.
unnecessary.
Listen
yeah.
to that whole thing.
Let's finish our thoughts on this Richard Settle comment, because it's something that everyone needs to be paying attention to. It really is. When these amateur artists, these disaster artists,
Yeah,
Yes?
let's
Can you
be
help
nice
you?
to amateur
There you go. What do you need?
artists.
My bad, John. Sorry. You'll be all right. Jesus. No, I'm sure you're doing great. When these amateurs and these disaster artists are allowed to set this precedent, anything can fucking happen. Anything. Remember that they are operating through an AstroTurf organization, right? And that they've completely and totally fucking tanked the charter member of the only league that ever made it in American soccer. They're doing that in front of us because they think they can. They think they can get away with it. And only time will tell. The outrage from the consumers is what's going to decide this. So I think that when Richard Suttle says something like this, it's really, really important that everybody pay attention and everybody hold them accountable from a public perspective. Last thoughts around the Latin term for podcast host, and we got to move on.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. We want to laugh at the idiocy that Subtle and Greeley are capable of. But it's also important to keep pointing it out and not just mock it, but say, like, listen, this is a bullshit strong arm tactic.
Yeah.
Like, this is the sort of negotiating that a mobster does. Like, it would be a shame if something were to happen to your fine, fine city and I were to take my business somewhere else.
It'd be a shame if I had to put in my article that you didn't comment.
Yeah.
Something
what
like
kind
that.
of jackwad does that sort of thing?
I don't know.
No, I mean, we laugh. That's our instinct because it is laughable, but also realize that this is a serious thing and point it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't just let it slip away as like, oh, there's another dumb thing they did.
Yeah, it's that Overton window thing where if this is allowed to happen, a lot of other shit becomes acceptable. Anybody else got anything else? I'd like to point out that it took him 2 weeks to shit the bed like this because Andrew Erickson's interview with Leslie Poole came out 2 weeks ago. So it took them 2 full weeks to eat enough food to shit all over their legs this badly.
God, it's a lot of queso.
It's a lot of queso, John.
And it's a benefit to us. I mean, I hate to, this might not be a popular view, but if we had somebody who knew what they're doing and was a billionaire like the Crafts or maybe the Illiches or somebody else, like, this would be a done deal. So this is actually really good for us. Keep posting all the idiot things that you see and read and find. I mean, I love finding these old articles from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Where pre-court's like, oh, yeah, I'm committed. I'm buying a home. And, oh, that's offensive. Don't ask me that. And
Yeah.
So it's
I'm
just
tired of the
pointing it out is
insecurities,
great.
Todd. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them, Andrew. Or Adam.
So that may be the one benefit of having Precourt as our owner is that he's a terrible business person.
Oh, dude, I've said it 1,000 times. Maybe here, maybe behind the scenes. I don't care. But, like, Save the Crew has been incredible. And that isn't the movement. That isn't the people behind it. That's in general. Like, that includes people in Spain, in Russia, in Utah, in California, and all places in between. Like, it's been incredible.
It's basically crowdsourced.
Oh, yeah. It's really been something that's going to be talked about and written about for a long time to come. Especially when the crew is saved. However, a big part of this is how stupid and awful Precourt Sports Ventures and MLS are. I mean, you can't beat around the bush. They're idiotic. They're
not even
morons,
just them,
they're
but like
thick and they're
the
silent
league
about they're
and
terrible.
Garber.
Yeah,
like they have done just as poor of a job.
Yeah,
right. Like they're the ones there. We
Wait,
know
you mean
that
Hall
they're
of Fame Don Garber, Soccer Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
it's really loud.
There's still time. That might not happen.
I think A-Ray said something about it on Twitter the other day, but like, where are the owners? You know, like Merritt Paulson had that tweet that was deleted, like the second day of this thing. The Sounders ownership said something in a town hall, and that's fucking it.
That's why I'm kind of theorizing that the Austin clause is a free move, right?
Fair point.
He could move somewhere else, maybe, but this is the only location he's been given a free pass to. And any other maybe spot that he would want to try to move to would require a vote of some kind. Yeah. And maybe that's why they aren't saying anything or doing anything, is contractually they can't.
Yeah, from a strategery point of view, the rich white men that are of MLS, a lot of them own NFL teams, and maybe we want to pretend, they're big soccer fans. They're in it for the money. So one of the things that I think about is, since we have the Modell Law, it's possible that all these people want a decision from a court. Because if, let's say, Ohio comes down against the law, or some court strikes it down, well, then they'll be more comfortable in the future to move things on.
No fucking way.
But on the other hand, other states are going to be very, very, very quick to pass these laws if there's a favorable ruling. So it is a gamble.
I think there's a lot more for them to lose than there is for them to win.
I do agree with that, but I do think it is
even if there's a
strategy.
negative outcome, then they know how to write their rules so that it is positive the next time.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that NFL people are fully against this.
Yeah, Paul Tagliapue, Bud Selig, David Stern.
Yeah, Tagliapue.
Get all of the people that are probably they're probably
currently commissioners of leagues.
Bud,
who's Bob Kraft? Is he here?
I don't fucking care.
Are you my grandson?
What are you, Tom? Hello, Tom Brady. Is that you? Sir, you're not on a telephone. Not at all. You're eating
That's
applesauce.
a banana.
I love Tom Brady.
Applesauce on pizza.
Get your shit together, and Paul Tagliabue smashed through the ceiling in MLS headquarters. It's 420 West 707 West Broad Street. MLS headquarters. Yeah, get there and tell them to get their shit together. Anybody else got anything before we move on?
No.
Ton?
Pass.
Darby.
Hi, Morgan.
Oh, turns out everyone hates you. Now, I think, the studio audience probably knows.
Knowing is half the battle.
Say what again?
He's absolutely right.
Say what one more goddamn time.
Oh, my gosh. Moving on to Man Balls of the Week, my friends. Combination of man and balls. Darby, you're a man.
Yes.
You're aware of what balls are.
Yes.
I've
had a few in my day.
Give away your man balls so that What's Her Nuts can put it in her spreadsheet. Danielle Castle.
I thought you were going a very different place.
Hey,
with that.
Danielle, send it to info@acesradio.com, by the way.
No, don't send it to Morgan.
Yeah,
that's the general show
She already
account.
sent
Yeah,
it
that
to me.
you
I've
only
already
have
got a copy.
access to.
Yeah.
How does it look? Is it good? Who's winning?
It was like a PDF.
Danielle, send it to the general show account that only
Send it
Morgan
to
has
team at
access to.
SaveTheCrew.com.
What are you what would I do with this man ball information, John? It's not a conspiracy. Jesus.
I don't want it. Send it to him.
Anyway, my first man
Team
ball.
at SaveTheCrew.com. Go ahead.
I'm going to send it to somebody.
The man balls? You're going to send it to
Don't
who are you sending it
No.
to?
So I'm going to give the first man ball
You should email it to Erickson.
the best player in the Eagles game this Saturday,
Oh, of
Morgan,
course. I'd
be
which
curious.
was
Kelly De Niro.
God, he actually got it right. Yes.
Goddamn
Kelly
right. She had
DeNiro.
2 goals.
Nope,
no,
she did
she
not.
She had a goal.
She had a goal
and
and
an assist,
assist.
is what I
Yes.
meant. That's right.
Yes, she had a really.
Who scored the other goals?
Oh, man, there's so many of them, John. Back to you, Darby.
No, she had a really good game, and of course, now friend of the show. So it's, it was nice to.
I'm a
to
Kelly
see
De
her
Niro man.
do
You know
well.
that. I'm a 3-4 man.
Yeah, I could tell by the way you definitely were at the game and watched every minute that she played.
Gary Pendleton De Niro.
Yeah. So my second man ball goes to. I really should have thought this through. Todd Fichtenberg for showing up and climbing back up the rankings for number one guest boy.
All right, fantastic. Leader in the clubhouse, Todd Fichtenberg. Your
Is
two
this
man
where we do
balls of the
show
week.
predictions?
Yes.
Score predictions for Saturday?
Show prediction.
Also
It's
score
going to
prediction.
suck.
Show prediction.
I predict that
I'm
Florida
just
will
channeling my
disappear.
inner Don Garber on the Los Angeles Football Craft.
Fantastic. Your 2 man balls of the week.
The first man ball, a lot of people are going to have to share it, but I'm giving it to the Columbus Dispatch for Arache and Jardy and Erickson and Kyle Robertson and
Bob Hunter.
all those folks to share because they're killing it in the coverage. Soccer Speakeasy podcast, listen to it. Second man ball, I have to think about that one, but I'm probably going to give it to Ethan Finley, just for being the greatest soccer player in the world, for having
How's he doing these
to
days?
suffer with his injury. Just in the
Ethan
last
Finley.
week, in the last week alone, when he quote tweeted, I think it was Landon Donovan, and made pukey faces. He got called a racist for it, so that was pretty exciting.
Okay, what?
Oh, what the?
Yeah, and so
Wait. No. I need to know about this.
Some people are thinking that if you're anti what Landon Donovan is doing, then you're a racist.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Against
so
white
that's like
people?
So the analogy
What's
that I
Landon Donovan
use
doing?
is let's say that
His pro-Mexico stuff.
I didn't see this.
Let's
Yeah,
say,
you have.
Let's say
No.
Ohio State doesn't make the. Oh, you haven't seen
You're
that?
full of shit.
Landon
You're on
Donovan
Twitter
came
every
out-
day.
No,
What
Landon
did he do?
Donovan
I
came
honestly
out
have
and
no
he's
idea.
like,
He's been
You
paid
need
by
to- you
Wells
need to
Fargo to
if you're
do
a real-
Mexico ads.
yeah, if you're a real U.S.
How
fan,
have you not
to,
heard about this? Sorry to keep interrupting you, but like I'm blown.
Todd,
I,
would you talk already? Why aren't you talking, Todd? Todd, come on, say
and so
something, Todd.
basically
Let's
where
go.
He's saying
Todd.
that if you're a U.S. fan, you should be
Yeah,
cheering for Mexico.
That's exactly what we're saying.
And
it's the
so-
people that do like the cheer for your conference. Like
Yes, dumb.
if Michigan's in the
Yes,
like,
dumb.
yeah, like
if Urban Meyer comes out and says, "Hey,
Right.
well, I know Michigan made the national
Yeah.
championship. You all should cheer for Michigan." That makes no sense
like
whatsoever.
he's in a Wells Fargo like Twitter ad where he's holding up a Mexico scarf, and then there's like a TV commercial where he like buys a shirt and is like telling like
wait,
all this other shit.
Yeah, I just happened to see it when it was tweeted. So Finley, I think it was that when he quote tweeted and made like 3 pukey faces.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, "Are you racist?" So I jumped in there like, "That's really dumb." And then she was like going off on me. But I don't engage with trolls. Do not engage the trolls. How many times do we have to tell you? And then also,
right,
he
third
picked
man
Argentina to win.
Okay.
So like he's just not having a great
Sounds
week.
like a racist.
I have a quick question.
Darby
so-
Shirley, back to you.
Should we engage with the trolls? Please
when,
tell us.
When he's saying that we should cheer for Mexico, is he advocating for the P word chant then? Is that what he's doing?
I don't believe that came into the conversation, but he's
That's-
clearly not taking that into account.
He's getting paid to cheer for Mexico, basically.
Yeah.
But is he getting paid to do the terrible, awful chant that they do?
I don't know. Have they done it at the World Cup?
I mean,
They beat Mexico 1-0.
If they
I'm not
played a
happy about
game,
that.
They did it.
I mean, they beat Germany. Sorry, they didn't beat themselves.
Oh, I didn't realize that he pussed out and deleted the tweet.
Oh, he did? Oh, I didn't know that
after
either.
the weekend, he's
I went to find it because I was going to read it to Morgan, but
Well, I would like to
'cause
take
he
away
not
one man
only
ball
did
from
he-
Landon Donovan and give it to Darby Schnarfus.
Okay. I see what's happening here. John Zadar, the wet boy, the wetness.
Yeah.
51 minutes into segment 1. Your 2 man balls of the week.
We were going so fast.
I'm going to give a
It
man
really
ball
worked.
to Kelly De Niro, and I'm going to give another man ball to the judge or whatever, the court.
Morgan Hughes. Is that what they call me? The judge?
3 appellate judges.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
Panel of 3.
They call
The
me
panel.
the 3 appellate judges.
He wants to give it to the per curiam. That's what he wants to do.
That.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
wanna
like that
give it
doesn't
to
mean
the
what we
curious
think it
purring
does.
kitty.
He could say anything in Latin right now when you'd say yes, John. Don't play his game. We don't know what that means.
Here in the Best Friends Club, we trust each other.
I do remember
We do
saying
have
that.
a
Yeah,
special
we do.
language that
Yeah,
basically.
and that
all
was
of
it.
us
That's why I knew what he
We
said.
Understand.
It was odd how you were very upset that you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes, res ipsa loquitur. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I remember that
Yep.
from breakfast. Yeah.
Yep.
I said, remember Jarby when I was like
Mala ense.
Mala
prohibita.
Prohibita.
Prohibita, indeed.
Remember when I said that earlier? I was like prohibita, and you were like, "Oh, that's a valid point. Have some." Waffles.
That wouldn't actually be the response to that.
It would. What did you? Why did you say that, Darby? Defend
I
yourself.
didn't say it.
You're
No,
getting
I
kicked
gave
out
the
of Best
appropriate
Res Club.
response.
Oh, how sad for you. God. Why'd we accept this?
Morgan,
guy?
where are your man balls
Can we
going?
try to get this program to 4 hours today?
Sean, my first man ball goes to Kelly De Niro of Eagles FC because I watched.
Hey,
How'd she score her goal?
It was a header.
Best friends right
Yeah.
there.
It was a header.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was?
great.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was a header.
Which end were they attacking when she scored it?
Oh man, it was back and forth. Like half they attacked one part, and then in the other half they switched.
Right, no,
it up.
they always do that. But
That's
which
where it's-
how soccer works.
Which
Yeah.
which end were they attacking when she
Oh,
scored?
definitely. Yeah, that one for sure. And then the second one, I was when she would assist, I was like, great. This
What
is
was the
great.
final score?
4-0.
What minute did the game end?
I feel like before the 90th because why would you ask me that? Probably a rain delay in like the 78th or something. My second man ball goes to Kelly De Niro of the Eagles because that assist was great. I've always said Gary Pendleton De Niro. I'm more of a De Niro man. Hashtag the
Your
Rambo,
own son doesn't even have your own last name?
Rambo
But
Gooner is because of Rambo.
How'd you feel about what happened with the keeper?
Oh my God! Everyone was like, "This has happened."
They were definitely like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
This event is currently taking place. Is
Yeah.
what everyone was thinking.
but specifically.
What did you think, Darby? I mean, like you
No,
asked
I'm
me.
curious to know what you.
First of all, welcome back to the show, and second of all, how did you feel about that? And then I'll tell you how I felt about it.
Is it knowledge, Morgan?
That's right, Darby. It's definitely knowledge. And oh man, the music is playing. How unfortunate because I wanted to talk about Eagles FC games until I
Are we allowed
die.
to talk over the outro?
No, Todd. This is not podcast.
It's fine that he wasn't there. I got a really good, embarrassing video of him from Pam from that night.
God fucking damn it!
Coming up on.
I'm looking
segment
forward to having
2.
beef at the wedding. I'm so excited for my beef option.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm telling
Is
people
Chris
to
Doran
put
going to be there?
No, I'm telling people to put a checkbox with beef on their RSVPs.
Oh, is
I
that
wonder
what
where
we're
you
doing?
got that idea from.
Oh, okay.
If you've enjoyed the Shit Lordery on segment 1, I've got some great news for you. We're coming back on segment 2 with Juan Ratzman. You are listening to the trash pit known as ACES Radio.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Now we blasting off into the ozone. The way we kick it in the dojo is local for show. Though we paving the road that's opposed to the dodo. Going over your head like a top hat. Stop that. I know you hear me spitting these hot raps. Now watch that beat, cause it's about to drop. The rockets is the 09 jump off. Yeah, your last name Pan, first name Peter. I know you see me playing and you want me to teach you, but I say elevated so that all God's creatures can hear me shout it out like my name is Aretha. Getting RESPECT. Fly by, see the looks on your faces. Cause I'm in full EFFECT. Jet setting on a daily basis. David F, man, don't stop. David, don't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah, I'm an ace pilot, yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all the people in coach, and to my first class folks, we'll show you how to scrape the sky. As the curvature of the earth takes shape, fly fast forward like a videotape and no cape. Just follow my jet stream, proud in the clouds on the boom in your precinct. I'll have no trampoline, black box in the pocket of my jet jeans. Shine with the stars so bright, even NYC sees me. Good night.
Oh, yeah, baby. Ignorant Slut, Shit Lord, celebrity fans, crew union members, and founders alike. And all you fools listening on your iPhones, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 90. 90 of ACES Radio. Sweet mother of God. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, you are listening to episode 90. This show is almost old enough for Darby to date. So roasted. So roasted.
I mean, but the show's not a horse, so
Nay.
it is not.
Roasted, toasted, and burnt to a crisp, and brought to you as always
Like
by
Pam's
Blood and
Pizza.
Urine and Pam Purdy. Welcome back. My name is the continuing champion.
The show is brought to you by Pam?
The show is...
You said brought to you by Blood and Urine and Pam Purdy.
Yeah, well, because he said roasted and toasted, and I said, no, like Pam's Pizza. Is this the part we don't talk over?
Welcome back. It's episode 90 of ACES Radio. Oh, what a treat it is to be here with Darby Schnarfus. Oop. Okay,
Is
wait.
this the part that we talk over?
Oh, John, you want to do your thing? Oh, please don't do that. God damn it, that was disgusting.
I'm a producer.
Of Blood and Urine. Fantastic, John. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's episode 90 here on segment 2. Drabs, what if I told you I was going to go ahead and unmute channel 2 for the rest of our lives?
I would say it's literally unprecedented.
That's right, Drabs. They say the only cure to the scourge that is channel 2 is welcoming in this week's guest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. First time, short time, Juan Satzman. Juan Satzman. Welcome to ACES Radio, my friend.
Thanks. Let me start. Thanks.
There you go. Take it down just a notch. Don't eat as much poop. Like you said to Drabs, you're a producer, not a consumer. We
That's
like
right.
that. That was very funny.
I'm glad you got Morgan to pronounce your last name right. That was very important to me that he was butchering it earlier.
Well,
I mean, it's
What was he? How were you pronouncing it earlier?
Like Ertzman or
Ertzman?
Ratzman.
It was like
Yeah.
erect man, something
Yeah,
like
I think that was
those lines.
it was a rec.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
wasn't.
Compared to like normally how I pronounce words, which is fantastic. Juan, before we ask you about your name, how would crew fans know you?
I am the third best known pseudonymous weirdo associated with the current situation, right? So there's like fake Siggy and then the AstroTurf organization known as MLS to ATX, which is Anthony Precourt's pseudonym, and then me, right? I wrote an essay about my life and the crew and like half of the ways the crew's impacted my life.
Yes, that was so you would know, you people out there, and yes, I do mean you people, you will know Juan as the guy who wrote that beautiful essay on what the crew means to him. So let's talk about your name. Juan Satzman. It's not real.
No.
Is it an anagram or is it a pseudonym? And follow-up question.
It could be
what do
both.
those words mean? Back to you, Juan.
It's a pseudonym.
What does that mean?
So it means it's a fake name that I chose, and Juan is
Like MLS to ATX.
Yeah, exactly. And similarly to MLS to ATX, it's a form of my real identity, if you will. Like, so it's a thin pseudonym. If you know who I am,
Unlike Dave Greeley, who's not thin.
right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, and ersatz means fake, and I found that out by way of the lauded children's novel series, A Series of Unfortunate Events, which is kind of a thematically suitable for this, right?
Do they still make books?
I don't know.
No.
Yes.
I saw a few.
People still write words.
long ago.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've never been able to read, so
No, that's
I'm
true.
surprised you even know what a book
Actually,
is.
when Pam and I started dating, she was like, we were texting, like, what's your favorite color? What do you do on the weekends? She was like, do you read? And I was like, yes.
This text message.
I didn't know what she meant. I'm like, yes, I can read.
I am
And
literate.
then she was like, like 5 months later, she's like, hey, so where are all your books? I'm like, ooh, no, I don't read books. She's like, you said you read. I'm like, yes, I can read.
I've never seen Pam reading anything.
She reads all the time. She's a nerd. She sucks. Everyone hates her.
Where are her books?
On her
Under
iPad,
the shoes.
So I was like, yeah, no, I read Reddit and stuff. Like I read articles and shit. And she's like, that doesn't count. I'm like, you're reading your iPad right now, bitch. Prove it's not Reddit. And then I didn't look. Juan. So why stick with the pseudonym? Why stay with Juan instead of your real name, which I know now, and you'll have to pay me to not say.
Okay, Richard Settle.
Thank you.
You're already lining your pockets. Come on.
It's like it's a whole complicated thing.
Okay, go into
so,
this.
All right. So I've had the pseudonym for a while, and I use it for writing. And the complicated part is I'm religious and I work for a religious organization, but I have, you might call it, a different understanding of what it means to be orthodox than many of the constituents of said organization. And so basically, I was like, I'm going to keep writing all kinds of stuff, but because I sometimes have to appear in public for the organization, I don't necessarily want them to be getting in trouble. Because
I'm just going to say, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Juan Ratzman is Jared Kushner.
Also,
this is the saddest I've ever been.
The shorter version could have been, I don't want to be associated in any personal way with that garbage podcast of yours. Ergo,
listen to your
fake
friend
name.
Drabs.
Yeah.
Even though he's eating your poop right now.
Yeah.
That's what friends are
that's
for.
the short version is you're so embarrassed to be here with us that you gave a fake name.
Honestly,
I should have gone with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm
It's not too late.
I'm shocked. Yeah, no, it isn't. I'm shocked every time that someone comes on here and just does this. Like someone who has like a job or like a family or like fucking maybe has kids someday. Like this is just a bad choice. So you're
those
doing it
all
right.
describe you.
Maybe, John. Tune in to find out. Tune in to find out. So okay, all right. So I'm going to ask you where you're from. You can be very, very general and vague about this,
or you could just straight up lie.
Or you could lie.
I'm just saying, we wouldn't know.
So where are you from? Give us a background on how you came to be.
I grew up in Plain City, which is about 30 minutes west of here.
This explains the religious thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, we already know everything about you now.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I was born at the Dare Dutchman.
They birth people there?
They do, John.
Oh, yeah, back room.
Also, cows.
That's why all those rocking
People
chairs are
and
out front.
cows.
Yeah.
And then it's like the cows are immediately made into the buffet items. And not the human
definitely
babies.
not the people.
It's
not
fresh.
the human babies.
This is a cow?
Yep.
This is what a cow sounds like. I'm from a city. So you grow up in Plain City.
Yeah.
And you says to yourself, we're very close to Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get into the crew?
So I got into the crew by basically, I was obsessed with Lego growing up, and they had this magazine that was basically just a huge advertisement for Lego.
This is a big chunk of your essay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're listening to this, you don't even have to read you don't have to anyway.
I would.
Well, since Morgan can't read, this is probably good.
It's going to be much more enjoyable because the three of us won't be butting in every other word to the essay. So if you just go read the essay.
That's fair, but this is the audio.
John, I
book
like
with
that. That's
commentary.
That's
exactly
point,
what I'm
John.
talking about.
I love that. Go ahead, Juan. Can you please
All right.
finish this sentence? Gee,
I'll try.
Go ahead.
All right, so I grew up. No, wait, we already covered that. So I was really into Lego. I got their magazine all the time. I was obsessed with it.
Legos are fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. And then one summer, they had an issue. They were rolling out this line of Lego toys that were soccer themed, and they were promoting it with an interview. And the interview was with Brian McBride, and they had a photo of him and an interview, and then a huge 6 foot tall Lego model of him that I think
I remember
The
seeing
Crew
that.
has that now?
Definitely still exists. Yes,
Yeah.
it was there for his retirement thing. Yeah, it still exists.
And I was just like, it was like I put all these things together. It's sort of instantaneously. It was like my city and like my magazine. All these sort of different pieces of my identity came together, and that was pretty much it. And like I was one of those kids who's like super into something for a month, and then I'm into something different.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll be into soccer for a month, and a month from now I'll be into something different.
Yeah.
And like 3 years down the road, I was like, I'm still into soccer, and
It's a long month.
Yeah.
yeah,
Possibly the
I
longest
was like,
month ever.
oh, so this is it then. I'm a soccer guy now.
You told a story in your essay about it was kind of at the tail end of like that thought. Well, there was a Lego thing, and I was into Legos, and I was into soccer. I didn't expect it to last, and then all of a sudden, there's like a pickup game every week now in Plain City. Like, talk to us, because that can't be a sport that is just a permanent part of the community. For 100 years. Like Plain City is a traditional place that soccer probably didn't touch until around that time. What was it like getting those people that had never maybe even heard of the game to come and kick a ball around?
It was like it started really small, and it stayed really small for a long time. And I had so many friends and this is actually something I cut out of the essay, was like being a teenager in Plain City. And I said, like, if America wasn't ready for soccer in the early 2000s, Mennonite preteen boys were like way behind America. So I spent a lot of time getting harassed about, like, that's not a real sport.
But that's the guy playing baseball with a stick.
That's exactly right, John. Like, that's such a fascinating aspect to the whole, like, soccer's not real. Because, like, it almost seems like it's a universal American experience wherever you grow up. If you're in a suburb, if you're in a city school, if you're in a Mennonite farming village, you know, if you played soccer in 2003, you're going to get, you know, spoken down to.
Yeah. I've always assumed it's because everybody feels threatened by it. Like, because I used to hate baseball because all my baseball friends were like, oh, soccer's not real, like baseball forever, America's pastime. And I think it was like they realized that soccer was the rest of the world's pastime, and they just didn't. I don't know. Because baseball in particular, like the football people didn't care about soccer, the basketball people didn't care as much, but like baseball fans, in my experience, were particularly against soccer, which was just really strange to me. And I've assumed it's because like
it's
the
usually
profile
football
of baseball
people,
was
isn't it?
declining. I don't know.
I mean, they're opposite sports. Like in one you run all the time, and in one you never run. And I hadn't fully thought this through. I'm sure there are.
I mean, I think you do make a good point about like the decline of baseball. Even still to this day, I think it's still kind of probably trending downwards. I mean, you see these stadiums. Well, wasn't there just like a White Sox game or something like earlier a couple months ago where there was like literally no one was there.
Yeah, it was like the first week of the season. It was
midweek
like 20
games
degrees.
at 2 in the afternoon that 17 people attend.
Well, it's just a very different sport in that, in like what it requires of not just the players but also the fans, right? Like you can play 2 baseball games in the same day.
Right.
I remember
that's ridiculous. You could never expect professional soccer players to play twice in the same day. Like the quality would just nosedive.
Sure. I mean, I play 160 games in a season.
Yeah, right.
I remember both like kind of thinking soccer was stupid and loving the Crew at the same time. And honestly, like I kind of still feel that way. I still feel like soccer is just like taken a little too seriously.
Well, you don't watch it at all.
Yeah, no.
So,
you're not authentic. That's the problem.
Definitely not. That's the nicest way anyone's ever roasted me about not being a soccer person, by the way. So you grow up and you play soccer, and you kind of like built this thing. Even if it's a pickup game, it's still like an appreciation of the sport. Mm-hmm. Did those people become soccer fans or Crew fans in any way?
A lot of them did. It's like over time, a lot of those same people, and it was often in World Cup years. Like, and that's still true. Like, attendance fluctuates a lot, but if it's a World Cup year, it's way up because everybody's like, "Oh man, actually, soccer is amazing. I want to be a part of it." So, some of it definitely transferred to the Crew. I also have friends who weren't like they played soccer when they were little, and then they didn't play soccer for a long time, and the Crew kind of brought them back to Thursday night soccer too. So it goes both ways. And I think I was actually thinking about this today because I haven't for a long time I was a Crew fan, but I wasn't part of Crew fan culture.
Okay.
And and I've realized that some of the stuff, some of the sort of the community that a lot of people associate with the crew, like I have that with the crew, but I also got that from Thursday Night Soccer by way of the crew.
Yeah. That's yes.
Like
When you talk about the community of the Columbus Crew, like, yeah, no, a lot of it is the team, but like, I mean, if I'm being honest, most of it is my family that I've chosen.
Yeah.
These people, these two shitheads, like that idiot, this fool, not Seth, you know, like that kind of thing.
Congratulations, Seth. That's a big.
What have you done?
No, I said not Seth.
Are you writing a book on how to do
Yes.
it?
Can you teach us,
Seth.
please?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get to be friends with this guy, and Seth can't do it because he is sad and fake news. Back to you, Darby. No, you can't. No,
He and Alex.
No, you don't have a microphone. You suck. So I want to talk about. Let's transition into your essay, your story. Kind of. I want you to go over it. What you were intending to put together, what you thought when it was done, and how the response was to you. Like, did you expect it to be read and consumed and talked about so much? Were you happy with it as a piece? All of these questions you have to remember and answer.
I'll try. I think I started writing it. I actually started writing it like the week of the Grant Wall tweet.
Really?
And I've been really busy, and I would come back to it, and it sort of matured over time. And I think at first I was just processing, right? I mean, we all were. I think that first month we were just like trying to come to grips. I don't feel like I've really come to grips with what's happening. And so it was like my way of trying to figure out like, why does this bother me on a level that almost nothing has before?
Yeah.
And I started to put together some of those connections and say like, wow, this is a huge part of my life. And in ways that I haven't even thought about. Like the Thursday Night Soccer traces back to the crew, and so many friendships that with people maybe that don't come to Thursday Night Soccer anymore. Or actually, this is like a weird thing. A friend of mine wrote part of her master's thesis about Thursday Night Soccer because it was about like social integration of women in a Mennonite community, and she said like, Thursday Night Soccer, there's no gender difference, right? It doesn't matter. And she said, and like, we never thought about it. She said like, yeah, this is really unusual. And so that, like, just thinking about all of that and saying, but that's because of the crew. So I think processing that and then writing it. And I also, like, I was trying to formulate what I was thinking about what Precourt is doing. And that's sort of the end of the essay. And that was the part that I wasn't as sure of. And I hoped that people would read it. Like, I didn't know how I was going to go over. I've written plenty of things before, not necessarily anything quite like this.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think the crew is just like one of a bunch of different parts of my life that have kind of been in flux or like kind of tough to work with in the past year. So I didn't know what to expect, because sometimes, especially if you're not really on a roll, you just don't know what's going to, and if you're into creative stuff, like you don't know how it's going to be received. And it came out really long, and I thought, well, I originally thought about emailing it to Save the Crew for like their massive memoirs thing, and I was like, oh, this is super long, and also like, I don't know if it's good enough. So this is just how I'm pretty neurotic.
Darbs, if you get an email to team at Save the Crew and it has one of like the most beautifully written pieces of crew history,
delete it instantly.
Delete it immediately,
Okay,
because it's
I will
not
definitely
good
do that.
enough. That's
Yeah.
what I've learned here today.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm all about filtering. That's what I do. I'm like, you know what? This isn't worthy of anybody else's attention. It gives me such a power trip.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I love it.
He loves just ridding himself of others in general. No, I think that's something that we all struggle with as members of this community, because we are facing eradication and destruction, is how to properly put it into words, because words seem so insignificant and incapable of communicating how we feel and what dire straits we find ourselves in and what we're facing. Yeah. And for you to put all of those things together so eloquently and so beautifully, it really, really moved me. And I know that everyone felt the same way. Everyone that read it, and it was read a lot and talked about a lot, thought, man, this is exactly what I was feeling. And I'm so happy someone said that. There's been a lot of response to it. What did you feel like when it started getting that kind of response?
Super overwhelming. Like, I didn't expect it, and like I really love writing, and if I could just do, whenever they're like, if you could do one thing and not worry about failing, I would just write.
Yeah, you should.
And so it was kind of like and like I said, like I wasn't feeling confident as a writer, and I wrote this thing and I put it on my personal blog on this random cryptocurrency platform, and I thought that Seth would read it.
Yeah.
And he did, but then it was blowing up, and I was in a meeting at work, and we're like planning the schedule for the next year, and I'm like staring at my phone, not able to concentrate, because I was like, this is, and I think like.
So you still had Twitter notifications enabled, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
A rookie mistake.
Yeah.
A rookie mistake.
I've only ever gotten them in ones and twos.
It's fine. Rookies are allowed to make rookie mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah.
That's a punk way of thinking about stuff.
So it was, and I think like reading people who were having an emotional response, like who were like, I cried reading this. It was kind of like I almost cried reading them. It was like the vomit train, but in a different way, right? Like, in a beautiful
It's an
way.
emotional vomit. It is. Yeah.
And that was like, it was really powerful seeing that transfer, I guess.
Well, I think Morgan makes a good point. Like, you managed to bridge the gap. When we're talking amongst ourselves, there's sort of two populations in this whole drama. Is like the people who get it because they've been a part of our family, and they're the people who don't get it because they're on the outside looking in. And I think you wrote in a way that is universal. Like, even somebody who isn't a part of a soccer family can read that and say, oh, wow, this is a thing. This really matters. And that was one of the strongest parts for me, is that it felt very universal in its approach.
That's because it was a journey, man. Like, you started this story when a lot of us existed, and that was not a fan of the sport or of this team, and we went all the way through, and it wasn't as long as a novel, but by the time I got to the end of it, I felt like I knew everything about you. And I felt like
you'd read your first book.
I had read for the first time, John, is what I thought.
Congratulations.
I thought, this is great. I finally learned to, and this is a tape, God damn it. But you were speaking for me. I thought you were speaking for me. And it means a lot to me. And I want to thank you for all the effort. I know how hard it is to sit down and like at least try to put your emotions together in words. I've never done it as successfully as you've done it, but from all of us in Crew Fandom, thank you for doing that. You're speaking for a lot of us, and it means the world.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean,
it's not a question.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
It's the worst question ever.
Yeah,
well done.
It certainly. I mean, it means the world to me to hear you say that, and I think just. I was kind of reminded of something that Keith Noss said about like everybody just doing their part, and like I don't know math, and I can't track down stats like some folks can, and I don't have the access that somebody like Cirque does to write the kinds of incredible things he does all the time. And I thought, well, what can I do? I can maybe try and articulate what it's like to be living this. And actually, as far as that goes, if I can throw in a little plug, I'm looking for other people. I'm looking for other people telling me like how sort of moments where they understood or that represent how they feel about it. And like no one follows me on Twitter. So
what's your username?
Juan or Satzman.
Can you spell that for those of us that can't read?
I can try.
Okay.
I mean, it's literally on the screen right there.
Okay, Darby, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, back to you, Juan.
Okay. All right, I'm going to read it off the screen. Okay, my own name. JUANERSATZMAN.
Are there any spaces or underscores?
No spaces.
It is
no
one
underscores.
continuous word.
It is.
So
yeah.
before you came on today, I was like, maybe this isn't a pseudonym, maybe it's an anagram. So I looked at. I says to myself, I says, Morgan, you're one of the top anagram deciphers in the game today. And I says to myself, that's true. Thank you, me.
Agreed.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I looked at Satzman, and I said, you can spell Zartman. You can spell Zartman with Juan Satzman. And then you can't spell Andy. And I thought, is this Andy Zartman? As it turns out, no, you are not Andy Zartman. Your thoughts?
Honestly, who's even sure that I'm Juan Satzman?
No
right?
one.
Like, it's a pseudonym.
I mean, I'm sure that you're not.
Yeah, I am. For any of us in this room except me, no.
Yeah.
I guess Seth. But again, no one here listens to Seth for good reason.
Darby does not.
I could have just walked in off the street and been like, "Hey, I'm Juan."
Somebody said that on I think on a hot take is like literally I could be Juan or Satzman and you wouldn't know it.
But that was me though.
Oh, was that you?
It was when I first thought of it. I was like, "Oh yeah."
That's very funny. I'm sure we'll laugh about that on segment 3. Let's move on. Even though I want to talk about this essay forever, and we'll retweet it from the Aces Radio account.
I'm doing it right now.
John, don't worry about it. We'll do it later.
It's already done.
Do it right now, John.
Done?
I'll see you at Best Friends.
Morgan
lunch tomorrow.
can't even be bothered.
No, we're not having
when
it
the podcast
tomorrow.
comes up anymore.
I won't see you. What were you saying, Darbs? Back to you.
I say you've gotten to the point where you literally can't even fucking post when the podcast is live.
First of all, language.
I'm sorry, when the
Second of all,
when the ass
Plain
shitting
City.
podcast goes live.
That's what we're calling ourselves now, the Ass Shitting Podcast. Welcome back to Ass Shitting Weekly. I'm your ass shitter. So I think that like this is a question that we've asked a few times, but like I don't think anybody's taken it seriously, and I think that you possibly could. Why fight this? Why put yourself out there? It's easy to not do this and not have 1,000 people retweet your stuff and have to deal with that. It's easy to not be in a meeting and have to see 1,000 notifications on Twitter when your phone is like, I've only alerted you twice about this. I'm confused. Where is this coming from? Why fight this? Like, why take the energy and use it on this?
I think for me, a lot of it has to do with all the people. I mean, the people that responded. Not everyone has time, has bandwidth to do anything. And as important as the crew have been to me, I'd love for them to be that important for my son. I'd love for them to be that important to all kinds of kids who are growing up, trying to figure themselves and the world out, and not realizing that falling in love with soccer because some piece of toy marketing that they're obsessed with a toy and the toy turns them on to soccer, that this is something that somebody else could have that experience, and I want that. And honestly, like I barely feel like I've fought. I mean, that's something that like I handed out flyers at one game and I tweet all the time and I wrote an essay, and that's not a lot, right? I mean, I'm not spending 17 hours a week working on Save the Crew stuff.
Do you want to? You could.
I want to.
John hasn't saved the team yet, so
good job
we're
with
also
that.
looking for
That
someone.
header image. Let me.
There's an old person that
some other
reads all of
header
our
images
emails.
I need.
We're looking to replace him. Yeah.
Again,
Do you know what a vlog is? I'm saying like it's half video, half blog. Are you familiar? Can you take your writing and record yourself while you write it? I think that's a vlog.
And then not do it again for like 4 months.
John, a couple of my goddamn vlogs have been voted down by leadership, all right? I've made vlogs, y'all. They've just been
Because
voted
15
down.
minutes of a double dick jack off is not
All
really
right,
a
Darby.
vlog.
I'm just saying maybe the world wants to see it.
No.
It's one thing. Oh, the Eagles here.
Oh, hi, John. I'm the Eagle.
How you doing, Eagle?
Listen, I was at the Eagles game
Uh-huh.
on Saturday because that's where I go.
Right,
Yeah,
of
but
course.
you didn't see Morgan,
It was
right?
good to see you there.
Gotta tell you real quick. So Morgan Hughes was their first fan there. Last fan to leave. He was like totally killing it.
What time did he get there?
Oh, sorry. I'm really high in the air. I can't. What?
What time did he get there?
Oh, Johnny got there like at the normal time. The acceptable time.
So he was in his seat at kickoff at 4 o'clock?
He was exactly where he needed to be at whatever time it was. And what's up? Oh, it's another Eagle. I gotta go. I'm an Eagle. Goodbye.
Oh, there are two.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Columbus Eagle.
That's an interesting development. There's,
Didn't
two,
expect
there's another
that.
Eagle.
In the middle of a double dick jack-off celebration, the Eagle just shows up. That's crazy. Moving on. So take us back to October 16th, if you would, Juan.
Yeah.
Juan, am I pronouncing that right? Juan?
To be honest, I don't know
You have
for
no
sure.
idea. That's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
There's no
I
idea.
write this. I don't. It's my own name, but I've written it, not pronounced it.
That's what Dave
fair.
Greeley responds to questions about MLS to ATX. To be honest, like that's not me. That's like okay. Take us back to October 16th. Where were you when the Grant Wall tweet came out? How did you find out? What do you remember about that day?
I remember I was sitting on my couch, and I think maybe I saw not an Andrew Erickson. I think it's the other Andrew.
Andrew King.
Andrew King. I saw an Andrew King retweet of, I think, the Wall tweet before the Wall tweet, where he was like, "Big news coming up later," and I was like, "Why is this?" And so I was just kind of numb at first, and my first instinct was kind of to take Precourt at face value when he said that it looked like a stadium hustle.
Yeah.
And so for the first day, I was like, hopefully this is
Just give him what he wants.
But then I think as soon as I read the article where Wall said that he rejected offers from Columbus to invest in the team or to buy the team outright, I thought, oh, he's leaving. He's trying to leave. And I was in a haze that entire day, and then I just started like I said, I haven't always been a huge part of crew fan community, partially because of what I do and where I live and all of that. And so I was like, but I didn't Save the Crew hadn't started yet, and I started tweeting around like, who's doing what and what are we doing, and how can I be a part of it? And I think at that point most people were kind of talking about the soccer Silicon Valley approach, but it was a really quick for me. I was like, I want to fight this. Whatever we can do to fight this, I want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And so I think that transition, I don't know, I often do things in the moment in the high pressure situations, and then later I like feel the things I should have been feeling at the time. So my instinct was sort of,
I think that's called anxiety.
Yeah, I think
anxiety disorder. I think that you're judging yourself constantly on what you should have done.
Yeah.
When you didn't know what you know now.
Yeah. No,
like you're constantly punishing your past self for not being your current self. Unacceptable. Don't do that.
I'll try.
Don't. Stop laying in bed thinking about what you said to people in the past.
You're just making him anxious, Morgan.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking I should never have brought that up.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
His palms look very
I'm
sweaty.
going to fill that pizza box right now.
Thanks.
Such
You
a my
vomit on his
generous.
sweater
that.
already.
Yeah.
Mom's spaghetti.
No, there's awesome. Love it when you rap just like randomly. There's no right answer to when your community is threatened to be destroyed. Whatever happened that night or that next day was the response that you as a human were capable of at that moment.
Yeah.
I like hearing about what people remember of the early moments of Save the Crew. A, because it's so fresh and it's still happening, but B, because I don't feel like I've documented this well enough. Like I should have been doing a diary every night, and being because at some point Cirque or Andrew King or roast beef enthusiast Erickson, they're going to come up and they're going to start asking us questions. But what do you remember about December 17th? And like, oh shit, did something big happen that day? And he's like, yeah, XYZ, and we're not going to remember. So I think it's cool to get this down on tape, man.
Yeah.
Like, what do you remember about those early days where it was like, oh man, no one knows what they're doing, and then all of a sudden this fucking hashtag started, and then all of a sudden we have this 4,000 person rally.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
The rally, or just the all of
the
it.
The early days, and just how quickly it happened. What do you remember?
I mean, I still couldn't figure out kind of how to approach it, other than that I knew I had to go to the rally, and I actually kind of expected it all to be over pretty quickly, because I assumed even after I started to figure out who Anthony Precourt was, I expected better from PSV in terms of I thought it would be a clean break, and I assumed they'd been doing years of groundwork in Austin, and that by December it would be over.
Yeah, it'd be over, because that's how this usually happens.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I expected, and I thought that it was just going to be, but I was like, I want to be a part of this as long as there is a this to be a part of. Whatever is going on, like, I'm going to go to that rally and wave a sign around and yell, and I saw whoever what the sports intern was for the Dispatch, and I was like, hey, are you a journalist? He's like, kind of. And I was like, I'm going to give you a quote, because...
Nice. What was the quote?
Don't remember anymore. I think it actually was about Thursday
legs.
Night Soccer. Basically,
nice.
The Crew have given so much to people in Columbus, and we've supported the team, and this is completely unreasonable.
Yeah. What do you remember about? What do you remember? So my memories of driving up to that rally was turning on Front Street or driving past Front Street, and Pam said, "What if no one shows up?" And I said, "Pam, you ignorant slut. Why would you
Pam
say
said that?
Yes. Like right when we're pulling up, like right when we're parking, I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? What are you doing? Like, why would you do that?
You know how sometimes
Pam,
people
what if nobody shows
you?
up to your wedding?
Yeah, what if no? Yeah,
you should. Oh my God, you should say that to her the day of.
I mean, that would make her
she
so
would
happy.
Like that. She would like that. Yeah.
No, it's like she was distracting you. It's like, oh, your shoe's untied. You forget about the fact that you're terrified to speak in front
No, that wasn't it.
Yeah.
No, she's like, what if no one shows up? Because that would be the end of the whole thing. Like, if no one showed up, that would be the worst.
I mean, that would be the beginning.
Yes.
That would have been the beginning and the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They would have said, look, no one even showed up to their stupid rally. And I was like, oh my God. And we turned the corner and they were like, I think there were probably like 100 people there. And I'm like, there are people here already. And then I looked at my watch, I looked at my phone, and it was like an hour and a half before the thing was supposed to start. And it just like, it grew from there. I mean, dude, that day was insane.
It was. Yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing, not that day, but like the day before. I was like, is this, and like, not to question the people in charge of this thing, but this soon, like, can this even happen? Is this going to be I didn't think no one would be there, but I figured it'd be like 200 people. And just,
first of all, always question the people in charge of things. Fucking always question them. Second of all, John Zarr was in charge of that. Failing. Sad. No, the Murray brothers, I remember being on that conference call at this table, and the Murray brothers were like, yo, dude, like, we just got to, like, show up at the stadium and, like, fuck shit up. And we're like, wait, no, but what if we don't do that? And they want to do it during the game.
Yeah.
Because that was, we were playing NYCFC or something. It was like the last regular season game or something. A playoff game, maybe. Who knows? And they're like, we're going to do it at the stadium during the game. Like, well, literally no one would show up to that because, like, we're going to watch the game. And second of all, like, no? That's stupid. And that was on that conference call. You drew the Save the Crew logo, John.
Yeah. You were standing over there.
Yeah. I muted the
with
phone.
It on speakerphone while like 18 people were screaming at each other. Yeah.
Yes. I muted the phone. I'm like, what'd you draw? What is that? Stop drawing forever. That's the best thing you've ever drawn. Stop it. Put the pen
That's
down.
literally what you said.
And I punch you in the face.
Well,
you
didn't do that.
Eat my poop. And Darby was like, somebody say poop?
No. That's definitely not a thing.
It's
interesting, though, because we haven't ever really talked about the rally in that context. And I think Kristen and I had a similar conversation. Like, we went to De Novo for brunch beforehand because it's Saturday. And, like, it was right there.
Fucking affluent white people.
Yeah, I know, right? We're the worst. I was like, let's be Morgan. Let's go have brunch on a Saturday.
Quiche, bitches.
Yeah. And I think we had that thought of like, gosh, I hope. Like, I didn't expect
I don't even
nobody to
remember
be
what
there,
I did before that.
But I
probably was there working.
I
setting
wondered.
up.
It was like, that's a big space. What if there's 50 people and it just looks pathetic?
Yeah.
And instead, you turn the corner and it's like, I got nothing to worry about here because there's just a sea of yellow and it wasn't even time to start yet.
Yeah, the crowd showed up considerably poignantly.
Yeah, what time was it supposed to start? Like 1?
I literally don't remember any of the details of it.
Whatever time it was supposed to
couldn't
start.
tell you.
Like, I'm holding the mic, getting ready to like MC this shit. It's like
I was running around trying to coordinate like the speakers.
Yeah.
Because what's his name?
Faust.
Titus.
Oh.
Like didn't show up until like 3 seconds before he was
No,
supposed to go
Titus
on.
didn't show up until like the thing already started.
Yeah, like you were talking and like I was reorganizing the order people were going to speak in because he wasn't there yet.
Right. So I'm like I'm standing there in front of like 2,000 people, and it's and it's like 25 minutes before this thing is supposed to start, and I'm like, I mean, at what point do we just start doing this? Because there's so many people here. This is terrifying. What the fuck? That's what I'll always remember. Is just I think I'd look at it from the camera perspective at this point. Like I just see this picture of 2,000 of us. Mm-hmm. What seems like 5 minutes after we were told that we were going to be destroyed, showing up anyway, and just like thinking, what the fuck did you?
Yeah.
Why did you guys do this? Don't fuck with Columbus. Have you learned nothing?
Yeah. Wondering like, are we going to be able to round up speakers in time? And then there's like 8 speakers who are like, yeah, I want to go. Put me on. Where? And yeah, I mean, the job of coordinating that was not easy because
I mean, we were literally just like cold DMing and cold calling people and being like, hey, we saw that you tweeted about this.
Yeah.
Are you for real? And do you want to come and talk?
There was no Slack channel yet?
No. It was the Twitter DM between like you and Tom and I and like maybe one or two other people.
T-Bone and a couple of Darby and Bernhardt and a couple of, it was just Donnie.
It was really early.
It was outrageous. There was no, we had our first Save the Crew meeting, and Juan, first of all, how dare you? Stop making this about yourself, okay? Just relax.
Sorry.
We had our first Save the Crew meeting the day before at that place on Riverside Drive.
Oh, yeah.
In UA.
Yeah.
And I remember we of course we've said this before, like Donnie got the permit for the wrong day. It was supposed to be like, he got the permit for Friday, obviously the rally's on Saturday or Saturday, Sunday, whenever it was. And we leave that thing and someone's like, oh, hey, somebody has to be in charge of like going to City Hall and seeing if there are outlets. We had already put this out there. Like, if there weren't outlets, we were fucked. Like, there were
We
thousands
just didn't
of
have
people
time.
Yeah. I was like,
It was
okay.
either we start telling people about this immediately or we don't do it.
Yeah. And so I went down there and like I'm like looking around for outlets and I don't see shit. And I'm like, maybe I'll start crawling through the bushes or whatever. And I did. And there was like an outlet in one of the like next to one of the bushes. And I like I tweeted the group tweet and I was like, oh yeah, no, there's an outlet, I think. And they're like, hey, did you put a plug in it to see if it works? I'm like, no. I just saw there was a plug. So I had to go back and then take my phone, my fucking plug, and plug it in. It was like, is my phone charging? Okay, yes, there's electricity. Good. It was a clusterfuck. Darby, why did you not plan better?
Because I was busy having brunch.
Of course. That's a respectable excuse.
Eating poop.
De Novo's out of business because not enough people went
We
to
just
have
kind
brunch
of
there.
like did whatever we wanted that day too. When you
Yes.
think back on it, like there was no one there, like police wise or official in any official capacity. Like, and there probably should have been with the amount of people we had there.
Yeah. That's why we couldn't do it at the Commons.
Right, we were going to do it at the Commons, and then they were.
But the Commons people saw our Facebook event, and they're like, fuck you. No.
Yeah, they were like, no, that's too many people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we had the permit, and I was going to edit. I was going to, like, doctor it and then, like, print out a copy that had, like, the doctor.
To change the date?
Yeah. And then we decided on the Twitter DM that would probably be
That'd
worse.
be a bad idea.
Yeah, if the cops showed up, they're like, let me see your permit, and we showed, like, a fake document to them, and then Save the Crew is arrested.
Day one is like, Save the Crew is...
Go into City Hall and check the records. Oh, it's closed on Saturday.
Yeah, we lucked out. out. I mean, we planned it like that.
Yeah.
Juan, what do you remember about almost ruining the thing? I can't believe you did that.
I know, it was so close.
Yeah.
I remember actually driving in because I got there a little bit late, and I was carrying my son and like just walking up, and as we drove in and we're like looking for a place to park, just seeing like people streaming from every direction, and so it was just like that, like all those feelings of being a part of something that you get from being in Nordect, for instance, but it just like concentrated. It was incredible, and thinking like this is something. Like I have no idea if this is going to work, but this is already far exceeding my expectations for how a city responds to having somebody try to steal their team.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, I know we got to move on. This is just like extraordinary self-masturbatory, but I remember that
it's fun for everyone.
Going into like that was like the third day, like it was the third or fourth day when this was happening, and I remember like fucking Scott Sedley, Hang the DJ, on Twitter was like, hey, Save the Crew has a really good thing going right now, but are they going to be able to, like, keep it going? Which was, like, of course, what all of us were thinking anyway. Yeah. And so to see, like, Scott tweet that, I was like, you sack of shit. I can't believe you'd say that. You said my worst fear out loud. Fuck you. And so, like, I had the microphone. It was, like, the end of the thing. And I was like, for those of you who came here for a funeral, you thought this was a wake, you're in the wrong place. Like, please don't stop. I know you won't. And I was like pleading. I'm like, come on. Like, if there's a way that I can sign all you up for the next 18 months, that's what it takes. And then everyone started chanting like, we're not done yet. And I'm like, okay, all right. Everyone fucking gets it. Awesome.
I mean, it was a legitimate fear though.
Yeah.
Knowing how Crew fans kind of are.
Well, knowing
in
human
that
nature.
Well, yeah, right. Not just Crew fans, but just people in general, or and how easy it is for people to say things and talk about doing stuff and not actually do it.
Yeah,
I think
slacktivism.
Yeah.
And I think there have I feel like from my perspective, maybe not the people that are centrally involved, but for a lot of people, it comes and goes. Like you're really involved sometimes, and then other times you kind of like can't handle it for a little bit. And I've seen that, but I've been amazed. There's always somebody stepping up and doing something. Like
we're fucking massive.
We are, yeah, absolutely.
We said it for so long that it became true.
Yeah,
I mean we did.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And I think it's important to know that it's okay to have those down moments. I think this is too much. This is overwhelming.
Yes,
I need to
please
step
live
back.
your life.
Especially today. I mean, there's so many other things going on, even outside of Crew stuff, that are overwhelming in themselves. It's just like,
yeah.
You got to make time.
Yeah, but just do come back. Keep it. It doesn't have to be front and center 100% of the time.
Yeah,
right.
Just don't let it go away.
Yeah.
Somebody else can step up for you, but then that person's going to need a break at some point also.
Mhm.
So be there for them. Be ready to come back.
Yeah, please remember to breathe, everyone, and then come back. And we don't need someone who's crazy and tired and stressed out. We need people.
Yeah,
who
we
are-
got those.
Yeah,
I also
It's called ACES Radio.
I just wanted to say, like, isn't that everybody's reaction to almost everything Scott Sedley tweets?
Yes,
but he's also almost always right.
Yeah.
Like, every time I want to fight with him about soccer, because we disagree about literally almost everything
Yeah.
when it comes to soccer.
That's why that T-shirt Scott Sedley is right
Yeah.
was right exists.
I start to disagree with him, and then I see the T-shirt in my mind, and I'm like,
I've said it 1,000 times, man. The worst thing about this whole thing with Precourt is that he made Scott Sedley look right in retrospect. Is the worst goddamn thing. I can't believe Anthony Precourt has done this. You made big soccer look relevant. How dare you? How dare you? Moving on. Why Aces Radio is my question next. You have this cloak of anonymity.
right.
As a man who pays very close attention to the Harry Potter world, I'll tell you that I'm a Raven's Claw. Okay, and if you are not careful, I will throw my Raven's Claw at you. And we, as you know, have a cloak of invisibleness.
Right.
And we go around our house and we throw Ravenclaws at people, and we are invisible at the same time.
Incredible.
You kind of have that as a man, as
Yeah.
a writer. Why show yourself? Why uncloak your Ravenclaw's invisible thing and come on Aces Radio? Tell us about that. Back to you.
It seemed fun. No, but also, like, this is this is another this is another way to be a part of the movement, and I want to keep. I've told my story, but I want to tell other people's stories if I can, and this is a way for people to be like, oh shit, I want that guy to tell my story. And
Okay, now you're just straight up volunteering to like.
I was going to
blog
say I'm gonna
entries.
have a conversation with you after we're done here.
Sure,
So, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, like, but that's something I can do. I don't know how often because I work a lot. But
My question would be, how often can you do this?
is this like I'm not going to have this conversation on the record?
Okay, all right, fair.
Recorded for 5 people to hear.
Yes, and it's
Fair.
associated with what is definitely your real name.
That's
it
right.
can be held
That is
against you in a
true.
court of law. Isn't that right, Todd?
Isn't that right?
He
Juan
nodded,
Ratzman,
which is
Fickenberg?
great for an audio program.
I know the best lawyers.
This
probably
is why
better than him
Podcast for
shouting.
Columbus sucks balls, by the way. It's just 7 hours of Todd nodding. Welcome back to Podcast for Columbus.
Oh, what the hell?
That's
That was
not the
here.
eagle,
Oh my
goddammit.
God, was that the eagle? Oh, now there are 2 eagles.
Sorry, John. I heard an imposter. I needed to stop by. I'm the Columbus Eagle, by the way.
Is this a double eagle jack off?
I heard 2 eagles.
First of all, ask that old man to not look at me. It creeps me the fuck out.
Not to look at you.
What's that, John?
You're an eagle.
That's right.
You could just like claw his old eyes out.
Yep. That's true.
Why don't you just do that?
Well,
Why didn't you do it at the game?
Darby,
The
don't
Eagles
look at me.
match.
I actually remember seeing you at the game. You were letting Darby
That's a bunch
stroke
of
your
fake
head.
news. I gotta go. Eagle, call. Whoop. That's not what I say.
Oh, talk about an imposter.
The Columbus Eagle,
I
everyone.
think that was an imposter eagle.
Welcome.
Juan
That
or
was great.
Sats Crow.
Everyone does. Everyone loves what you do. Second to last question. We call this the Greg Benson question. He can't sleep at night until he A, rubs one out, and then B, hears people talk about this question. What does a crew mean to you? And I know that was like, first of all, you're right to be disgusted, John. I know that is like, what does the crew mean to you was literally like the thesis of
I was
your
going to say, he kind of already told us.
whole thing. And again, we will retweet that. We haven't yet, but we will.
Definitely have.
In a
It's
few
out.
words, like summarize your essay. What does a crew mean to you? Back to you.
I think it's not the point of my life, but it's one of the main ways that I express myself as a person and the things that are important to me play out. It's like it's something that's landed in my life, and I don't know how to do so many of the things that I want to do with my life outside of the crew. I owe my favorite recreation, my favorite entertainment, lots of my best relationships to the crew. And what it means to me is, yeah, that is what it means to me. I'm not going to go on. It's not going to get better from here, so I'll stop.
That
works.
resonates with me, man. Like it's an outlet for me as well. Like, dude, I've painted a shitload of stuff. I would have painted 0 stuffs without the crew. Like, I've been able to be confused for like some kind of like amateur bullshit artist at times. Like someone took a
Nobody's
picture.
done that.
Yeah, well,
No.
Darby,
Never.
why don't you stop trying to pull the poop out of my butt? Is that insulting to you?
Plop sploosh.
Oh yeah, hear that, John?
Drip.
There was somebody wrote an article in like some
Oh.
like paper in Europe about the Ralph Wiggum tifo, the banner that I made, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I suck at this. Like I can't even draw a fucking stick figure, and like people are talking about this thing that I painted in Europe. I wouldn't be able to do anything like that if it weren't for the Columbus Crew. I owe everything that I like do in my free time to this team, and I think you put it so much more eloquently than an idiot like me who can't even read is capable of.
Very true.
Last question, we'll get you out of here. How can AGS attack be stopped?
Pair of bulldozers, top speed, either side of him.
Oh.
Wow! Wait a minute! Wait!
That got
I mean, I don't
quick.
know. Like, I'm a Mennonite. I don't do violence. This is all new to me.
I mean, that sounds pretty freaking violent.
I
I'm not
think
gonna
you.
lie. That's not a
I hate
great
to break
way
it to you,
die.
my friend, but you do violence.
You nailed it. Congratulations. As an amateur, you sounded like a pro.
Awesome. That's all I ask for. Is to sound like a professional murderer.
So here's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm imagining this correctly. A guy. Okay, so Agstag's standing in the middle of a
Yes.
parking lot.
I was thinking like a construction site, right?
Okay.
Like he's maybe out there doing like some super grimy photo shoot for an album, right? And he's
as
like,
one does.
yeah, because as he would do, right?
Yeah, of course.
As a recording artist,
Sure.
of some renown.
It's him and Ron T just like looking up at the stars. Like,
Not
what are they
looking at
thinking
the
about?
camera.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
looking near it.
Yeah,
but
whatever
off
you
camera.
do not look at this goddamn camera. Back to you.
And then on either side of them,
Okay.
concealed behind who knows what, right? Maybe mounds of dirt, and then just
Yeah.
bulldozers emerge. And
So quickly that they aren't able to respond.
yes,
And then so like the bulldozers have their things up in the air, and they what are those called, Darby? Bulldozers,
Scoops?
diggers. Yeah, they have their diggers up in the air, is what we call them in the construction industry, and they cut his head off. Is that what happens, or they just like smash his body?
I think smash his body. I'm actually
Okay.
I have a name for this now. I just
Oh.
came up with it just
Okay.
the second, it's not quite formed. I'm thinking like the mechanical god claps his hands.
Yeah, oh, I like that. Oh my god, that's incredible. The mechanical god claps his hand. John, write that down. We're going to steal that and use it for something.
I think, isn't that your term for masturbation?
It was. No, that was like the mechanical god, and then there wasn't anything else. Claps his hand. That
Because
would've
you were
been
done
yeah,
already.
right.
By the time you said
It
the
happened
mechanical
so
god, you were
quickly.
finished.
It's a race to the end, Drabs, and I'd only come up with part of the sentence. That's how fast I finish. Lovely. All right, so AGS Attack is murdered with the two bulldozers.
Yeah, why not?
This is so much more convenient than adopting a gaggle fuck of like golden
I
retrievers.
do not have time to raise German Shepherds.
I don't have time for this. How did these dogs get in my house? I only have one. He's 2 pounds. He pisses everywhere. Thanks, Darby. Thanks for nominating me on Twitter to have my house pissed all over forever.
You're welcome.
You know dogs don't live forever, right?
Shut up, John. That's not true. Big shout out to Juan Satzman on segment 2. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. We will go ahead and retweet your essay. We haven't yet, John, but we will.
Okay.
If you've enjoyed the shit lordery on segment 2, I've got some great news for you. We're coming back on segment 3, your hot takes and more, and you're listening to ACES Radio.
Hot, sicker than your average. Down like goose and I'm fly like Maverick. With a savage attack in a mouth like a mash spitting fuego. Homie, it ain't tricking if it's magic illusions. Indubitably juvenile. My crew can do it and we do it well. Rock around the clock all across the nation. Got a lot of sky miles and a reputation of making earthquakes every time we land. Cause stopping in an option or a part of the plan. Fools get to filming while I'm running on jet fuel. Now pay close attention cause I'm ready to let you know what I'm all about, child. I got that style that you come to love. And I'ma stay fly till the day I die. Spitting fresh to death from above. Get it, David F. Man. You don't stop. David. You don't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain. Yeah. I'm an ace pilot. Yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all my people in coach. Yeah. And to my first class folks. Yeah. We'll show you how to scrape the sky.
Yeah, baby. Ignorant sluts, shitlords, celebrity fans alike, welcome back. It is episode 90 of the trash pit known as ACES Radio. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you've been lured in by the promise of corporate sponsor blood and urine flowing all over you. Thanks as always to the guest on segment 2, this week's edition, Juan Statzman. not Virtual Statsman. Juan, or whatever the hell his name is. Go to twitter.com/hot deals and search for crew whatever. Search for crew whatever. Hashtag 2019 season ticket pledge. That's right. My name is a continuing champion, Morgan Hughes. Welcome back. Drabs, what if I told you that John Zadar has faked a flooding at his mother's house in order to leave ACES Radio episode 90? What if I told you that?
I'd say he finally figured out a way to avoid segment 3, and good for him.
He sure
I wish
did.
I had thought of it.
Great to have you back. Todd Fichtenberg, welcome back to the show. You've stuck around. You've stayed. You were doing lawyer things on your iPad.
I coerced him. I said, we need a guest, and literally everybody fucked off after segment 2.
That's absolutely true. Even Brent Miller's not here, and Brent Miller is always here.
Right. He did leave his pizza, however, so...
Here's my Brent Miller impression. So, I will say Taco Fest will be good, and 3-1 Cruisers FC.
And I told you so. I told you every week I was right. I told you.
My name is Brent Miller, Dr. Evil,
and Lauren Michaels. Fantastic.
Morgan, I hate to tell you this. I'm not going to be able to participate in segment 3 because Reddit is not loading for me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Just wait till Morgan reading the excellent hot takes. He does such a good job.
Oh,
at
nice.
reading.
Nice. Thank you, Todd.
He reads so
good.
He reads so good.
So well, Todd.
What if I told you, Todd, that there was a
I'm good at
cure to the scourge? That is John Zadar leaving in the middle of an episode, and then, and you were like, what? And everyone else was like, huh? What if I told you that you could be rid of that?
Was that... Who are you asking? Was that me or was that Todd? I thought you were asking Todd.
Oh, I thought you were asking Darby.
This means it's over?
Yeah. It's been real, guys.
Are we supposed to talk over this song?
That's right, Travis. They say the only cure for the scourge...
It's hot takes.
That is... Would you... No. That is being in second place for most frequented guests on ACES Radio are hot takes.
Nothing is impossible.
Second place is almost first place.
That's right, Travis. They say the only cure for the scourge...
Nothing is impossible. Make your dreams come true.
The one we talk over?
And now,
I'm sorry, what's that, Darby?
Was this the one we talk over?
An ACES Radio exclusive. The battle for the
Grand Prize.
Grand Prize. Hot takes from the masses.
you're not going to stop there.
Hot takes from Twitter.
Hot takes from Twitter.
He's heating up.
Hot takes from you.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, Walter. Walter, you're dead.
Very much dead, but also alive.
I never understand what you're saying when you do this.
Neither do I.
Very uncomfortable.
I mean, it's not me.
If I want to hear a dead raccoon, I want to understand it, Drabs.
Do you use the guy to do the drops? The guy lives in Austin.
What?
The person that records your drops for $96.
No,
is
he lives
Austin?
in Atlanta.
Okay.
He is an Atlanta United fan. I talk shit to him on Twitter. First of all, Jesus Christ, I'd press any button. I talked to him before the Atlanta United playoff game last year, and I was just like aggressively over the top talking mad shit to him, like, "Oh, you think you're going to be the ACES radio announcer, like after publicly supporting Atlanta United, you fuckboy?" And he never responded. So. The professional announcer man probably won't ever record for ACES Radio again.
Oh, okay, well, I should ask
wait,
for
you've had him record things since then, haven't you?
No.
The podcast for Columbus professional announcer man is in Austin.
Bullshit.
No,
what?
yes.
Come on, Todd.
Bullshit.
What is that?
Are you
Come
serious?
I'm serious.
Really?
Why would you
it was
do
cheaper.
that?
What do you pay him? How much you pay him?
well,
It was
obviously it's cheaper.
I think it was $72 or something like that.
Oh, wow. That's an entire amount of money's less.
I feel like you could probably get T-Bone to do it for less than that.
No, I know. I should
do a big voice. What are we,
I have a
what, are you
horrible
kidding me?
radio voice.
Chris
It's
Doran
horrible.
could do it.
So I would love to have my friends do it. Like Morgan has a really
This
good
is
radio
international
voice.
Thank you,
soccer
blessed.
celebrity Chris Doran.
But yeah,
You want
I don't,
that- you
actually
want
don't
that
remember
again?
what it cost. But I did
This
notice
is
it was in
internet-
Austin.
Okay, you want
This
this?
is internet.
Nope, you don't want that.
No, thanks.
Alert. Darby Schnarfus has entered the game.
Moving on. Before we head to
Let's
the
edit all
subreddit
that out.
known as the Massive Lads, go ahead and read the overall standings. According to Alex Thomas, this is why people tune into ACES Radio. In first place, Greeley Bad Ideas with 10 points, followed by Gregulator 420 in second with 9. Basketball Emoji, Mysterious Beeping Noise, and the big mover from last week, Justin Merman Facts, all with 7 points in third place. ACES Stefan in sixth place with 6 points. Darling Thief, what a good lad he is. Another mover from last week, 5 points, seventh place. Spikehead Lyndon B moving the fuck on, ACES Archive, and Rec League Commish, all tied for eighth place with 4 points each. Top lad Dave. Hutel?
Can you say that again?
Bob. Mike Hudson sucks, he certainly does, and Older Than Darbs in 12th place with 3 points each. The Ralph Shudell Show, hi Darbs, it's Kellyanne. A Logjam, Pam Soapy Butt, Vicious Bike. When Aces Radio is good, Setting the Table, Morgan's Anal Leakage, Columbus Lad, Massive 14, Aces Dictionary, Zip 6, and Ron T are the 2-pointers all tied with each other. For 16th place, the Celebrity Gagglefuck is as follows. Pippa Picked Pickled Peppers, Aces Radio, Tiger Beat 96, Spikehead Ladybird, Eric Bobbitt in Love and Varziha, Skeets McTaz, Darby's Fan Club, Dan Cordemonch, D8 Goat, Segment 3-Bon, AGS Attack, Conspiracy, MLS2 ATXer, Darbs Fun Stall for Your Horse, GC G-Bag Tyler, Your Gavin is Showing, Fifth on the Stand, ATX Stadium Parking, Cruise Schmack, none other than Greg's Ass, Drolby Sprint Basing, Yoshi, bro. All tied with 1 point in 29th place, bringing up the rear this week, Greg, and getting the bulk, none other than Bob O'Shaughnessy, with negative 2 points. We move now to the subreddit known as the Massive, Todd, where I remind you, as always, these hot takes are organized automatically by their level of fiery fucking hotness. Top upvoted post this week comes to us from none other than Justin Merrim Facts, with 7 points. Quote, there are nothing but flattering pictures of Justin Merrim in the Upper Arlington yearbook. He was voted best looking, best smelling, and most likely to succeed. Justin Merriman is comfortable with touching and affection. Justin Merriman doesn't get upset over fake Reddit accounts that take small jabs at him. Motherfucker! End quote. Drabby Shranfish, your thoughts?
I think we've got an early runner for some blood points this week.
I can't believe that he did that. I can't believe he did all those things that upset me and then, roasted me for being upset about them.
Right, and that, it's staying pretty constant.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were so many things that I hated about myself until this fucking account. Oh, well done, Justin Merrim. Okay, that can't be turned into a drop. Please forget that. I will literally edit that out. 1, 2, boom.
Yeah, nope.
Roasted. Moving on from user Massive14 with 5 points, quote, PSV announcing that they are having second thoughts about Austin is the second craziest change in public position out of a formal policy issue in the news this week, but just barely, end quote. Todd Fichtenberg, token conservative, your thoughts?
That sounds like a Hataki. I don't even know what that means.
It's true. I mean, it is. It is.
But a good Hotaki.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving
Sounds
on.
positive, yes.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you. You should wait until after the drop and when I'm in the middle of saying moving on. This is why
This is the
podcast
part
for
where you
Columbus
talk
is
over.
great. That's
Definitely.
right, Drops. Yeah. This is called Interlude. Lovely.
Nobody listens to this podcast for you, I'm sorry to tell you. By the way, when are we getting more vlogs? I miss your vlogs.
Oh, you're so dead to me. Moving on from user Morgan's Anal Leakage with 2 points, quote, drip, end quote.
That's awesome.
Drabby Schrantis, your thoughts?
Yeah. I might have, as an unfortunate turn of phrase, I might have leaked that hot take earlier in the podcast if you were listening.
Oh, my God. Moving on from user Darb's Fun Stall for Your Horse. Welcome back with 2 points, quote, Darby makes it. Oh, shit. This is the. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one.
I should have had this. I should have opened this beforehand. All
Okay,
right.
that's all right. Do you want me to do my thing?
Yeah, but hold on. Darby makes a good point about karaoke on this segment. Don't do long verses and edit the words too much to make it too hard. Here's an example of a short song segment Drabby can sing to illustrate. And give me a second here. Give me a second.
So yeah, there's a instrumental version of a song here that we're going to go ahead and do that thing. I would like to state for the record, I've never listened to this song before today, so thank you so much for this.
Okay, here's an ad.
Market, this is a story you have to see. It could save you thousands of dollars.
Oh, this is
Here's
great.
Olivia Hahn with
I need to
details.
know.
This new service is called UpNext,
Wait, the
and
news
the
is
local guy who
sponsoring
used
ads
it
on
says it
YouTube
saved
now?
him a
Yeah, this is real, Darby.
$7.5,000.
What?
This is drone video of a house in
here we go.
Collegeville, Montgomery County.
Okay.
The owner wanted to sell it, but says he wasn't impressed with the real estate agents he was meeting.
Okay.
Her fees
Wait,
were
how
really
long is
high,
this
like close to
ad?
7%.
Another minute
and
and
it didn't seem like they
I can
were
skip it.
digitally
Yeah, I can
advanced
skip it at any
meaning-
moment.
Oh.
But they did everything by paper.
I want to
Unless you're
say.
getting
Do you
paid
know
for
how
it.
bad Morgan is at everything? This is a
So Thomas
Drabs, I want to save $7.5 thousand.
Yeah?
Who even says it like that?
Analyzes hundreds of agents
$7.5 thousand.
and finds the best to compete for you.
Oh, this is good.
That's how normal people say it. Isn't that how you say it, Darbs?
Just like
7.5
Uber and
thousand?
Airbnb.
How much you send this Honda
charge
Accord for?
to go to a
$1.2 thousand.
When the home is
Absolutely.
sold.
That's,
All right, here
that's
we
how
go.
people talk.
Okay. Here we go, Draft. You ready?
Whoa! You gotta do like a whole cycle of the.
I mean, you probably know when to start, so I won't tell you.
Yeah, I figured it out. I listened to it a lot.
Great.
I'm just an elder. I'm looking for a pony. Yes. Someone who knows I can ride.
Yeah.
Without even falling off. Gotta be compatible. Take me to my limits.
Oh my God, yes.
Girl, when I break you off,
Which is the thing that I will do.
I promise that you won't want me off.
You'll say, I want
if
this
you're
to keep
horny, let's do it.
Let's go.
Ride you, my pony.
My pony.
My saddle's waiting.
Pony.
Come and jump on it.
Pony, ride it, my pony, jump on it. Now you wanna get them sexual now.
Darby has sex with horses. That's why this is funny. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God. Derb's fun stall for your horse. Todd Fichtenberg.
And we have a comment from Token Liberal. I can't believe you've done this.
Is that you, Drabs?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank
Derb's
you.
fun stall for your horse must be Morgan. So how were you ready with the interlude? That's not on the hot take.
What are you talking about? Please don't talk about this. Whatever you're
What is
thinking.
this?
I don't
I
want
like
to
this
hear.
song.
I mean,
Please don't. Whatever you're thinking about doing.
Morgan having a Reddit account, that's an interesting thought.
User
really cool.
Morgan. I have over 6,500 karmas.
But so
Can you send this to me so I can use it on podcast for Columbus, please?
interestingly,
That's pretty dang cool.
like while I was not familiar with that song, I do legitimately appreciate not giving me some sort of like 37 syllable verse at light speed. Like that was my pace.
You're not familiar with Genuine?
No, I am
Are
not.
you serious?
No.
Drabs.
No. My hip hop phase was like the Chronic era and like Sex Packets from the Digital Underground and you know some Beastie Boys.
Nothing. You lose.
Like early
Good
Beastie
day,
Boys.
sir.
Moving
Not
on.
the What You Want Beastie Boys.
Moving on from the old man. From user Juan Satzman with 2 points, quote, literally anyone can show up at Endeavor tonight and claim to be Juan Satzman, end quote. Drabby, your thoughts?
I am Juan Satzman.
Oh, you want to do your thing?
I am Juan Satzman.
I'm Juan Satzman. One, ready the counts. Two, ready the counts. I'm Peruvian. I wrote an article about my feelings about the Columbus Crew. I'm from Painesville. Where's he from?
Plain City.
Plain City. I'm from Plain City.
Land of the...
Where's
fighting
Painesville?
Thomas...
Is that near Mentor?
Jonathan Alders.
Is it Mentor or Mentor?
It's out west.
Moving on.
Close to nothing. There's a lot of Yutsies out there, as I recall.
People that live in Chardon.
Yoders.
People that live in Chardon go to Mentor on the weekends for fun. It's like Vegas to the rest of the world.
Basically, the
Hilltoppers.
Ettingers would feel right at home in Plain City.
Oh, Millersburg? Millersburg isn't even real in my brain, girl. Other than Kime Lover. Moving on from user Lamborghini with 1 point, quote, in several of Michael Arache's articles, he compares PSV's attempt on moving the crew to someone forcing you to watch them steal your horse slowly. He's made this reference at... What?
Hot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're doing there. I like that. He's made this reference enough times that I have to believe it must have happened to him personally. And who would want to steal a horse? Who is also so old and decrepit to do it slowly? I suggest we look at user Fun Stall Darbs, your for horse, and see if we can't end...
Wait, what user account was it? Was that Bob?
Michael, yeah. And we can't end Michael's nightmare, end quote.
He approaches the baby gangster.
Drabs, your thoughts.
I'm excited to see fake Reddit accounts start interacting with one another.
I
in
can't
these
wait.
hot takes.
I can't wait. It's what a
And
rare
eventually,
treat.
it's going to be basically just Buttle Surfer talking to his other 37 fake accounts.
No, it'll be Jonathan Massler talking to himself like 100,000 times.
Jane, you ignorant
Moving
slut.
on. Aces Archives with 2 points has the following to say, quote, in the 50 or so hours of this shit show, I've learned more about the Buffalo Bills than crew I see. I'm genuinely concerned this might be your last episode, so I'm offering a few show improvement suggestions. 1. Conduct a Family Feud segment. Morgan, Derek Hughes. And Eleanor Hughes against Greg, a koala, and a kangaroo. Greg is dead. 2. Replace the live studio audience with live studio raccoons. Jones. 3. Start a Kickstarter that accepts blood points so we can play a nice Italian family to adopt Alex Stanek, hashtag war on Alex. 4. Let AGS attack Capo your next episode. 5. Help Morgan figure out how buttons work. 6. Broadcast from Zima instead of Zauber. 7. Change your podcast name to The Perfectly Formed Report. 8. Giveaway fan scarves made that say ACES Radio and are as long as the banner on the side of the Nordac, hashtag Throwback Thursday, end quote. I can't read tonight. I'm just putting words where they don't exist. And I remember that ACES thing. I remember that ACES banner.
Cool.
Tom Fickenberg, your thought.
Oh, I was going to say a lot of this applies. If it wasn't for the 50 hours, I'd think, hey, this is today. And it's nice that this fan mentioned that banner that you made praising and honoring the owner of the Columbus Crew. It's pretty cool.
And also, it's really ironic that it talks about giving away scarves in this context as well.
Oh, yeah, no, good call. Yeah. I like your thought way more than Todd's. Way more than Todd's. Hey, Todd, did you know that ACES stands for Anthony Can Eat Shit? And it always has.
Wow, it took you 8 months to come up with that. I'm impressed.
Greg Benson did not come up with that on October 18th at all. That was not him. Darby, you were there.
The last time that Greg Benson was involved with the crew?
It was, yeah. We were out there. See where I'm pointing, everyone listening? We were out there.
Morgan is pointing to the men's room right now.
You know who was there? You know who I enjoy?
Greg Benson, apparently.
No, not him. Glenn Tennis was there. Dakota Andre Stewart. You have to say the whole name with Andre Stewart.
Correct.
Yeah. Dakota Andre and his wife, Ruthie Pye. They were all there. Celebrity fans near and far. They came here, Drabby, and they said, we don't enjoy Darby Chef. And what did you say to that?
I said, I don't either. Thank you for sharing.
Here's what you said.
So how about I come over there and go to town on your money and on your ass?
Thank you for the plug for Podcast for Columbus. Very nice.
Who's on Podcast for Columbus other than you?
Glenn Tannis.
What?
Dakota Andre Stewart.
What?
And sometimes Max Brunke.
Who is that last person?
You say sometimes like you've had more than one episode.
We have.
Who's that last person? He sounds awesome. Max Brunke? Is that what you
That's a
said?
pretty cool name.
That's like a video game hero. That's not a real person's name.
Brunke? Like
Max
Brunke.
That's right.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
He just graduated.
Enough
from
people
high
aren't
school.
named Max. He graduated from high school? You have this person on your podcast, Todd?
You're going to go to jail one of these days.
It's
Come
enough
on.
with Dakota Andre. He's like 12.
Yeah.
Dakota Andre has shaved once in his life. It's very amusing. I saw it happen. He was like, what do I do? And he started smashing his...
Podcast for Columbus
He took a
sex
razor,
offenses.
drabs, and he started
And
smashing it
hashtag
on
pray
his face.
for Coda because it looks like they're doing a replay of the Argentina game. So.
Oh, no.
But it's just 90 minutes of messy crying.
Hashtag pray for Dakota Andre
Fox
Stewart.
has done a horrible job of covering this World Cup, let's just say. I wish they would highlight
Surprising
the awesome
exactly
goals
nobody.
over the crying Argentina players. Come on. Show some respect. I'm sorry, show some respect.
You're
I'm getting a long one.
Moving on, lads. From user Reddit Mindcrime with 0 points. Quote, Anthony rolled over and sighed. Was it morning already? He stood, stretching, and looked down at the bed. Subtle and Greeley were still asleep, wrapped in each other's arms, the hint of smiles still on their faces. Like Tony, their bodies were splattered in a film of queso and excited, eager excretions. Is that right?
Yeah.
Excretions? Like I excreted? Is that
That's
what you're
like-
saying?
Yeah. Like
All right.
pooping.
Oh, like poop. There's poop everywhere? Were you there, Drabs?
No.
Okay.
There is some shit even I can't be aroused by.
I respect
this
that.
Is it.
Yeah, I respect that. Tony stood there admiring his boys. He was proud of them. There had been some nervy moments the day before. Some city councilwoman had released a note about wanting an RFP for the city. Tony didn't speak lawyer, but he was pretty certain RFP didn't stand for really fantastic pre-court. And for a while, he'd been mad. Not only did the news confuse him, Greeley had walked in on him to deliver it while he was trying to polish one out. There's this really cute girl in Columbus named Morgan who keeps tweeting at him. He tried to slide in her DMs, but she is playing hard to get. Oh well. Her profile pic would do. Dave helped him finish, of course. Okay, this is getting gross. And get him down for nap time. But when Tony woke up, he still had a bad feeling in the pit of his tum-tum. That's when his phone rang. It was Mr. Garber, and he said he was putting his best and brightest on the case. Dick showed up an hour later. He told Tony
Time.
What?
Oh.
It's going on.
Did you put a time limit on?
It's
hot
going
takes?
on
That's actually
too
a really great idea. That's a
Let's
really
go to the
great
next
idea.
one.
I'd like
My
to
God,
give
it's
5
the first
blood
good
points
idea
to Todd
Todd has
Fickenberg.
ever had related
Yeah.
to a
I got
podcast.
a man ball and
Unfortunately,
5 blood points.
we
Nice.
have to keep reading this. Dick showed up an hour later. He told Tony he'd just finished an interview with the local paper and everything was sorted. That he set the council straight and by the end of next week, McCalla would be theirs. He did ask if they kept the receipts for all their promo gear, but Tony figured he was just joking. Dave was there too and asked Subtle if he wanted to check out his scarf collection in the closet. The rest of the night was kind of hazy, but Tony looked forward to the day. Columbus may have a statue of Lamar Hunt, but Austin was going to have a whole stadium named after J. Anthony Precourt. Probably Austin, maybe. Hashtag relocating your relocation. Hashtag girls' names for girl bodies. Hashtag Darby smells like old poop. Hashtag Arby's Erickson. End quote. What's happening here? What is this? Drabby Shanfish, your thoughts?
This is like weird MLS to ATX fan fiction. I'm pretty sure Josh Jackson wrote this.
So is this like, first of all, roasted? Don't know how Josh Jackson comes back from that. Probably in awkward internet videos. Second of all, is this like another Dave Greeley Bad Ideas where like at the end of this saga we'll have to like put together an ACES radio bathroom reading book that's like, 27 pages? It's doable.
Oh, wait, you read those books? I thought you wiped your ass with
I can't
pages.
read. No. Aren't there bathroom books? Aren't there bathroom books for people who are pooping?
Yeah, it's called Playboy.
Like Letterman's top 10 list or some shit? It's great.
People do crossword puzzles. That's a little too interactive for me.
No, I'm not trying to write during that. Moving the fuck on from user Dildy Skindo. That's you, Draps. With 0 points, quote, hashtag Derbs, hashtag Drunbus Scrunbo, hashtag a drung ate my baby.
A drung bow.
End quote.
A drung bow ate.
Todd Finkelberg, your thoughts?
Much like that post, I have no thoughts.
I think that roasted, maybe? I think Todd roasted something.
Roasted.
Moving on from user Horgan Muse, which I remind you as always is what my Brazilian friends called me in high school, with 0 points, quote, I had such a wonderful Father's Day with my favorite son, Derek Hughes.
Hello, darkness.
Drabby Shanfus, your thoughts?
What did the two of you do on Father's Day?
I've come to
Derek Hughes is dead.
So you visited his gravesite and wept many tears over the tombstone?
This is the song for Shane Paulson's whore wife. And I'm playing this just accidentally.
Come back to me, Derek. I miss you
Shane
so.
Paulson does not own the Derek Hughes Twitter account.
Maybe Ghost of Derek Hughes could be the next thing along with the Ghost of Walter.
Shane Paulson texted me the other day and asked me what the dress code was for Pam's wedding. And I said, yes, clothes are required. Moving on from user Dribbly Scrote Fuss.
I've asked about 4
You laugh now. Go ahead, keep reading. Keep reading.
With 0 points, quote, I'm more of a basketball guy, Morgan. You should know this. Hashtag dribbly like what, Morgan? Hashtag dribbly like my penis. Hashtag old penis. End quote. Dribbly scrone face. Your thoughts?
I mean, I'm just glad that things still come out of my penis. It's not coughing dust every time.
That is going to be a great drop. Julie, please. Listen to me. Please, Julie Stanky. I know you're watching this on 56K dial-up. You had to fight for that one AOL sound. There was only one line, and your kids kept picking it up, and you're like, Stank Prince, get the fuck off the phone. Mommy's trying to download her
stories.
Her stories. Murder, She Wrote's coming on in 7 minutes. Please, take what Drably Scrinfos just said and make it into a drop. We ask you.
After the Morgan drop about Justin Miram.
No, we don't want that. And that's all we have to say. Moving the fuck on from user DeWine Newsletter with 0 points. Quote, Dear team at SaveTheCrew.com. Thank you for your enthusiastic support. While we are deeply appreciative of your commitment to keeping the crew in Columbus, we can assure you that one sign-up is sufficient to receive our messages. We have currently received approximately 57 requests for your address, including the following names: Derby Schnarfus, Drigby Scrinface, Drolby Scronefub, Drunbus Scrunbo. We appreciate your...
How are those two asses become a B? That's the opposite of the German B there, I guess.
Everything about this is just like my favorite fucking
Yeah,
thing.
you definitely pronounce that B.
Yeah. Scornfub. We appreciate your prompt attention to this matter. Best regards, DeWine Newsletter.
Stank Lord.
Drobby Scronephobe.
Todd, do you want to indicate the response here?
Yes, response from Token Liberal. I also cannot believe you've done this.
So let me
With
tell
one
you a quick.
upvote.
All right.
Let me tell you a quick story.
Back to you, Darby.
And also, nobody else do this.
Okay.
We started getting letters at the team at Save the Crew account.
Really?
From the DeWine campaign.
Uh-oh.
And I thought at some point, because he's a part of the lawsuit, somehow they got a hold of our contact information. Whatever. It's okay, it's political.
Yeah.
I went back and looked. There are now, I believe, 5. Thank you for signing up for the DeWine newsletter emails in the account. So, you son of a bitch, whoever you are.
Yeah, that's right, Solanomax. Whoever did this is a legend. Identify yourself via DM. DM me your account, Crognells, and also proof that you signed us up for all of those things, and you will be getting all of the blood points. You will be winning the grand prize. A free, all-expense-paid trip to Universal Studios to be on... You can't do that on television. Don't say the word what or... what is the other one they can't say? Don't say what or...
I don't know.
Slime or gack
I
or
don't
something.
know.
And you will get... That's right! Stuff will come out of the ceiling and fuck you up if you say the wrong word. This is a children's show. We live in lockers.
And also, we have gags about a chef who puts human beings inside the food.
I heard that. Moving on. From user Precourt Used Cars. This seems like a thing where I should probably do my thing. Yeehaw, boys and girls. Welcome to Precourt Used Cars. We got some crazy good deals for you today. Check out this model. This right here is what we call the McCalla Austin. It comes with more than 20 queso holders, enough room to hold 10 hipsters, and with parking premium around here, I know that is important. It gets me $500 million in community benefits to the mile, and this model has only ever had 2 owners, and it was only parked in Columbus. But y'all better hurry because lots of people are looking at this, and it won't be long. We got a special good deal for you right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you buy it today for just $26 million worth of property, you get to own this car, get a $1 a year from me while I drive this car for Uber and keep all the earnings, add wear and tear to it, all the while giving you the chance to drive your car once or twice a year. Bam! This is the best car deal we ever seen. Y'all better hurry, because we either going to make the same deal with McKellar or your flashy new model, the SAC to MLS. Yes, this baby is sure to make us happy. We really just don't know anything about this car, but we can tell you that if you pass on McKellar, well, we'll make some kind of deal with someone who can may or may not want this car, even before we have any kind of details, because we're on a quick timeline, so y'all better act quick. Precourt Used Cars, the name that you can trust. Just listen to this raving review from one of our happy customers. Hi, my name is Tyson Wall. I came to Precourt Used Cars with a car that was pretty rusty, would break down all the time, get beat on the road all the time by faster, better, and more agile cars. Precourt Used Cars treated my car like it was gold and offered me top dollar for its service. Even though I hadn't been a customer for years and my detailing shop was right around the next door that they used, I'm completely unbiased, and you should come by for a car, buy it from Precourt Used Cars, because it will be a great opportunity for you, and you will in no way make me money, despite the fact that I detail all cars from Precourt Used Cars. Oh my God. My name is Morgan Hughes, and I'm from Peru, and that was horrible. Driving Shrimpers, your thoughts?
I mean, they definitely gave you the long one.
Todd Finkelberg, your thoughts?
That was fantastic. I mean, the actual hot take was better than the reading itself.
That's not what I've heard. I've heard different.
What you've heard?
I can't believe
You're still in the Austin accent there.
What's that song called?
That's not what I heard.
Spanish Flea or something?
What was that?
Is that Spanish Flea? Was the name of that song?
This episode of
You've made it
ATX,
all the way through. I'm
the
pretty
Assist
impressed with that.
podcast. What is they called? ATX Assist podcast?
Is there such a thing?
The Assist.
The Assist?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I was going to do something like, I was going to roast them, but
Smoke weed every day.
I mean, I don't know. They're probably better than our show. Moving on.
I'm also
From
mad you got a scarf before me. I'm pretty upset about that.
My ATX to MLS scarf is the best.
I'm very
Let me
upset.
tell you what, Todd. It does not smell like Chinese gasoline at all.
It definitely, it's one of the softer things you can wipe your ass with.
It's probably not soft at all.
Trust me when I say that I would not put that on my butthole. That would be a very, very bad thing to do to my own anus. Moving on from user Drifty Shitfaced with 0 points. Quote, Dribbly remembers the greatest thing before sliced bread.
Smoke weed every day.
Dribbly Shitfaced, your thoughts?
I do, but I forget what it is.
And what was it?
I don't know. I lost the hot take thread. Hang on.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on from user Drobus Scrotus with 0 points. Quote, Mini Tailgate really isn't that successful.
Wait, what?
I want to have sex with all of these fake accounts. Darby
So here's the
Schneider's, your
thing. I
thoughts?
know
Todd Finkelberg, your
I've
thoughts?
talked bad about these long posts, but come on. put something into these things.
You can't have it both ways, brah. I, for one, love all of these short hot takes from the best account names that I've ever read.
Yes, you can have it both ways. You can have there's too short, there's too long, and there's just right.
Okay, Three Little Bears. What is this, a nursery rhyme? What are we supposed to be warned about, Todd?
Let's go back to hot takes from Twitter.
Okay, no?
Now that it's 240 characters, that's perfectly formed.
I agree.
Fuck on! From
Twitter
user-
is greater than Reddit. I agree.
Yeah.
Plus, you haven't re-recorded the intro, so...
Todrick33 has been blocked by ACES Radio. Moving on from user setting the table with 0 points. Quote, Morgan, after hearing the news this week about Tyson being a spokesman for MLS to ATX, it looks like we've determined that there's someone in this country who is willing to pay for an unnecessary wall down in Texas. Hashtag Shills Mafia. End quote. Drabby Schranf, what's your thoughts?
Everybody's making the political analogies tonight.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I like it.
We're becoming culturally relevant. We have our finger on the pulse. We're like, we're the MSNBC to Podcast for Columbus's Fox News.
Jobby, to tell you what, I had my finger on the pulse, and they asked me to leave the public library. That's right. They said, leave the public library.
Johnny Carson.
That was weird and wild stuff.
I was saying we were culturally relevant, and then you pulled a 20-year-old reference out
That
of
is
your
weird
ass.
and wild stuff. I had my finger on the pulse, she said. Moving on from user Zip6 with 0 points. Quote, a few weeks back, John Zadar told the panel he didn't know what Chiquitos or taquitos were. I remember this. I remember this conversation. Mm-hmm. And this is what we do. We start talking in the middle of them. Okay. Or taquitos were, and this was the whitest thing I'd ever heard, and it made me feel sad for Zadar, and I wondered what other Mexican delicacies he may be missing out on now that he lives in Plain City or some other centrally located suburb.
How did he even?
I don't know, because it was 3 hours ago, way before Juan or Statsman got here. John, if you're here tonight, and he's not, I wanted to let you know the following Mexican dishes are surely worth a 5 or 10 kilometer jog. Tracked faithfully by GPS app and posted to Twitter or Slack. Chicken Chiquimanga, a deep fried burrito that contains shredded chicken.
Chimichanga.
Chimichanga? No, I think it's Chicken Chiquimanga, a deep fried burrito that contains shredded chicken that probably won't give you the runs. Or a torta ahogada, which is a fried pork sandwich drenched in chili de arbol that might send your bowels a push notification. Or there's tacos al pastor, which translates to pray to this pastor that you have toilet paper. Or even chili something?
Relleno.
Relleno?
Yeah.
Oh, is this Spanish?
Yes.
Luis Argudo casserole, which is an acquired taste. Consequently, this is what they feed to horses at MCL and generally just smells old and is served old in a dish, period. Hashtag hold the queso, end quote. Drabby, I don't know how you or John come back from that. I'm playing both of you off. This is the end of your participation in ACES Radio. You can't come back from it. Your thoughts, my friend?
I actually really like chili relleno, so it's like Zip6, congratulations, because somehow
that's pretty good.
You're bordering on psychic for this hot take. I don't know how you did it.
I'm going to give him blood points. Spoiler. Moving on from user number one, Hansy Boy. I can't believe that username wasn't taken already. With 0 points, quote, Dear Mr. Hughes, I don't like this. It feels like I'm talking to myself. I don't like that. Maybe we don't read this one?
I'll go ahead and read it if you want.
Okay. Dear Mr. Hughes, I've been following your performance in the score predictions recently, and I'm sorry to inform you that you may have been knocked down to number 3, Hansy Boy.
Have been. Not may have been. Have been.
You may have been knocked down.
You have been knocked down.
We will tune in to find out. You still have access to the Hansy Hangout, including the Olympic-sized pool, closet full of stolen banners, and the massage room. Hansy ending included. Unfortunately, you have lost your invitation to the Hansy Boys Picnic. As we have learned of your recent decision to join the Best Acquaintances Club. Hashtag Hansy Wedding. Hashtag Digging for Poop. Hashtag YYZ. End quote. It's a good goddamn thing they didn't say YDZ, because I don't know what that means. Todd Fickenberg, your thoughts?
What is YYZ?
No. Darby, what is YYZ?
I believe that's the chromosome makeup that you have.
Oh, a double Y?
Yeah, double YZ.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm double girl? No, wait. Is that right? I mean, girls are YY and we're YZ? XXYY? Is that right? If you just like take X's.
He was so
why don't you keep digging around there
Listen,
to see what
he
you come
was
up
so
with?
serious. That was great.
Rough Lads.
Hold on, Rough Lads. Let me tell you what about science, all right? Because I paid attention to a few minutes of 10th grade biology. And I know there are at least 2 chromosomes, right? One of them is a letter and another one is a letter. If you take 2 of them with the same letter, you are something. And if they're different, you're something else.
And if
Todd,
you have 3...
If you have 3, Darby, back to you.
else.
What is that?
This is a great Upper Arlington education, ladies and gentlemen.
Morgan Hughes has pressed an incorrect button.
Moving on from user Ron T with 2 points. Quote, I have gotten a list of the horses that Drabby keeps at his property. Passionate Lady, Bare Belly, Silk Panties, Conscience, Jockey Shorts, Clean Sheets, Thighs, Big Johnson, Heavy Bosom, Mary Cherry. Here's my take on what happened with Darby and his horses last Sunday. Conscience was left behind at the post. Jockey Shorts and Silk Panties were off in a hurry. Heavy Bosom was being pressured. Passionate Lady was caught between Thighs and Big Johnson in a very tight spot. At the halfway mark, Bare Belly was on top. Thighs opened P, and Big Johnson is pressed in. Heavy Bosom was being pushed hard against Clean Sheets. Passionate Lady and Thighs were working hard on Bare Belly. Bare Belly was under terrific pressure from Big Johnson. Near the end, Mary Cherry cracked under the strain. Big Johnson was making a final drive. Passionate Lady was coming. At the finish, it was Big Johnson giving everything he's got. And Passionate Lady takes everything Big Johnson had to offer. It looked like a dead heat, but Big Johnson squirted through and won by a head. Heavy Bosom weakens and Thighs pulled up. Clean Sheets never had a chance. And Darby got all the poop, end quote. That's right! Yes! What the goddamn fuck was that?
Todd, how uncomfortable were you during that hot take?
It's a lot of eggs!
Very. And that was about as bad as watching a horse race.
What? That's such a good point. The only thing worse than watching a horse race. Nope, there's nothing worse than that.
Nothing
Darby
worse.
Snarfers, your thoughts?
I have...
Ron T.
Like...
Wow.
I mean, I do have a vague feeling you could probably find that exact wording in an internet joke somewhere.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'd
Why don't
like to
you,
read that again
get on
someday.
Fax Machine and check that out.
All right. Give me a second.
Hello?
Nope.
Hello?
No, don't.
Hello?
God damn it, Stank Prince. You don't pick up the phone in the middle of mommy dialing into her internets. Go get me another Merlot. I'm Julie Stanky. I'm drunk, and I live in the country. Moving on. From user Columbus Lad, last hot take of the night, quote, I just want to take a moment to highlight a hero of mine, the continuing champion, Morgan Hughes. Darby, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I can't wait.
How come you didn't read the score? Has a -4
Negative
downvote.
5.
Did I not say that? Columbus Lad with too few points. I'll just start over. I just want to take a moment to highlight a hero of mine, the continuing champion, Morgan Hughes. Morgan smells great and is great with kids. The Acquaintance Club is definitely cooler than the Best Friend Club. The 1986 Boston Celtics were the best team in NBA history. The Buffalo Bills are the best NFL team. Andres Mendoza is the greatest crew player of all time. Pam is the worst at everything. Darby is old and eats semen-laced horse poop. Oh, damn. He's okay. That's a different level of horse poop jokes, but I respect the ambition. Sean Sitar is definitely in last place in the standings. Hashtag PM me your count, Crognails. Hashtag yellow swag. 24/7 blaze it. Hashtag let me smash.
Let me
And
smash.
quote, Darby Schnarfus, one of the greatest hot takes you've ever heard in your life. Your thoughts, my friend?
My God. The pandering that
Oh.
some people will do for blood points.
What's with the downvotes? This is one of the greatest and most truthful hot takes of all time.
Now,
The problem I
remind
had with
me,
it. Oh, sorry.
We can award -3 blood points to a person, right? To
That is
make
not
sure
true.
that they're getting the bulk.
That is not true.
Okay.
No, you're thinking of Baba Shamsi. Todd Fingenberg, your thoughts on the truth?
Well, it's not. That's my problem with it. It's not a hataki. It's like the opposite. I don't even know what it'd be. Oh, a shiitake. That's what it is. It's because none of it's true. It's just all a bunch of garbage. So
Ain't nobody got time for that.
This
Play
plays
the whole thing.
automatically when you lie.
Ain't nobody
got time for Todd's lies. That's the last hot take of the night and the best of all time.
go walk into traffic.
I think. Oh, God damn it! That's a Matt Goshard insult. How dare you bring this master part filth onto Aces Radio? We have blood points to give away. The lad known as Drabby Scrinface. We start with you. Your 2 blood points go to the following users, my friend.
Well, I mean, bringing his usual strong game was Justin Miram facts. So
And you're
there's
not
one blood
you're
point.
giving... Okay. All right. Oh, that was a mistake.
And despite your garbage delivery, pre-court used cars was pretty freaking good. Like that,
Pretty good.
It took a while to get to a used car salesman hot take, but I love the addition of Tyson Wall as the satisfied quote customer.
And your last one goes to...
That's it. There's only 2 blood points.
Columbus Lad? Is that what you said?
Nope.
Who was the second one?
Just 2.
Oh, okay.
Just 2. Justin Miram facts
Justin
and
Miram facts.
pre-court
Columbus
used
Lad?
cars.
Oh, pre-court used cars. That's right.
Yeah.
And Columbus Lad as well, you said. Did I hear that?
No, you did not.
Okay. Todd Fichtenberg, your 2 blood points go to Columbus Lad.
No.
No? Okay.
I almost gave Lamborghini a point, but you missed it by 1 letter.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys might have already said this in the past. Nobody
Lamborghini.
listens to this, but
Yeah.
Lamborghini, it's right there. I'm sorry. So
Yeah, what are you doing?
So pre-court used car gets 1. I think Todic 33 he gets 1.
Oh, is that right? Todrick 33.
I'd like to take. I'd like
what?
to take 3 points away from Columbus Land.
Oh, man. If you would have said Bob O'Shaughnessy, we would have allowed
No,
it.
I'm only taking 1 point away from Bob O'Shaughnessy.
Okay, 1 more blood point from Bob O'Shaughnessy. So let me get this straight. Todrick 33 gets 1.
Oh, I messed that up. Shoot.
Somebody else gets 1, and Columbus Lad gets 5, and Bob O'Shaughnessy gets another one taken away. Fantastic. My first blood point of the night goes to none other than Zip6. Can't play this drop enough. Hashtag hold the queso drabs. And God damn it, I really, 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 really hard want to give it to Columbus Lad. Also, that is not
I
a
know
drop.
you want to give it hard to him.
That shouldn't be a drop. That Julie, get back off of AOL. But I do have to give it to none other than Ron T. With all of the... Man, I don't know what that was, and I feel like sometime in the future we'll know more about it. It's like a Mike Hudson hot take, except it will probably make sense at some point. And that's it. This has been another edition of the battle for the grand goddamn prize.
And you already know, so let your head nod throughout the outro. Now as the curtains close and it's time to go, will the beast almost out like a manifesto? So let's make a toast to all the friends and fam, the folks involved since we started the jam, and to a world full of people who tell
It's a very long outro, John.
Yes, I can.
No, don't do that. Oh, yeah, baby. No, you can't, Walter. No points tonight to Darling Thief. I thought after last week, Darling Thief, she or he has been ascending the scoreboard, but no.
I really want Johnson Arnett.
Oh, my God, Glenn Tennis, would you relax? Take it easy for a second. I look forward to your hot takes on the next edition of the podcast for Columbus. Todd, can you plug it real quick? You're on this podcast. How often do you guys do it? I'm not a podcast
We try to
listener.
do it weekly. We were able to last weekend, but we're trying.
How many episodes this year so far?
Well, we did our World Cup preview, which was about 3.5 hours long, and then we did one crew one so far, so I guess 2.
I'm sorry, you did a 3.5 hour long podcast?
Yeah, it wasn't intentional. We were not trying to be ACES Radio or anything. So.
That's longer than literally any Aces radio ever.
Yeah, I was hoping to make 4 hours tonight, but now that we're here this long, I'm ready to go home.
Are you serious, dude? Defend yourself.
We just were talking about the World Cup. You know, people who care about soccer.
There are people.
You wouldn't know anything about being on a soccer podcast because you were on Massive Report earlier. Now you're on Aces Radio. So
Nor would I ever want to know anything about stupid soccer podcasts. Moving on, we have score predictions to update, lads. Last week, Eagles FC taking on Empire Unitedmans of the greater Buffalo Bills area. The guest, I believe that was Brent Miller. They said that the final score is most likely to be 2-1. That's not true. It was a 4-0 victory. The guests get 4 points, and may God have mercy on their soul. Sean
How many
Starr.
points?
5 points?
There you go.
What did I say?
I thought you said 4 points.
Yeah.
But I'm also not paying attention.
Well, they only get 4 points. May God have mercy on their soul. Sean Starr, the wet boy, you said the most likely outcome would be a 5-0 Eagles FC victory. That was so far from being true, John. I can't believe you've done this. It was a 4-0 victory. You get 4 points. May God have mercy on your soul. Moving on, Drabby Schranfus. Number 1 scrin-face boy. If you're eating poop, your name is Drabby Scrinface. You're outside of an MCO. It's your new girlfriend. It's a horse. Her name is a horse. And you're eating the poop out of her butthole. And my name is Darby, and I eat poop. I'm a poop eater. I'm going to be in a relationship with
one great thing
What's
about
up, Tom?
Morgan is that he does not know how to kill a joke. He just doesn't.
Oh, he knows how to kill a joke.
That's one thing I really appreciate about you. You just
get on the plane, Dan Kennedy. Darby Snarfus, you said the most likely outcome was a 3-1 victory. You're feeling 3-1, bro. It was a 4-0 victory.
Pretty close.
You get 5 points. May God have mercy on your soul. Moving on to the continuing champion, Morgan Hughes. You've said the most likely outcome was a 3-0 victory, and while that was the case for some part of the game, and you don't remember how long it was because you were there and you were too involved in the outcome and you were too excited. You're more of a Kelly De Niro man. You know me, John. I'm a 3-4 man. You said it was going to be 3-0, but it was 4-0, and you get 5 points. May God have mercy on your soul. Moving on to the overall standings in last place with 60 points, none other than Solanamex himself, the guess, in also last place. Also with 60 points, the wet boy, the wetness, Sean Sitar, 60 points in second place, and very close to first. Almost in first. So close to first that people were saying, why don't you just say you're in first? And I said, how did you know it was going to be me? And she said, Morgan, first of all, thanks for having me. My name is Kelly De Niro. I know you're a Kelly De Niro man. I gave birth to your dog. I had 7 goals last week. 60 points, Morgan Hughes. In almost second place. In almost last place, which would be last place, Darby Snarfus. No, please don't, Todd. Please don't do this, Todd.
Solanamex!
No, don't. Please don't scream at the same time. That makes it so much worse.
Chapter 33.
No, don't scream your own screen name, please. That's not how AOL works. No. I'm deleting my buddy list. You're being deleted from my buddy list. That's right, Solanamex. You're off my buddy list.
I was clapping so excitedly, I literally knocked the cap off the dry erase marker.
Travis Scramfus, he broke his pen because he was too excited from clapping. Solanamex has a fake family in India. Get your family out of my... Get family out of my face.
You finally are okay with clapping for me.
No, I'm clapping for Solanamex' fake family.
My name.
Go find Shrek.
You're definitely clapping for Darby Schneider.
Shrek is also in India.
My
Go
name
find
was
him.
the one listed as first place.
There's one download a week.
And now he's clapping for
from India, and it's Shrek. And Shrek has your fake son in his boiler room. Go untie that boy, is what I would say if I were. Moving on, Cruisers FC this weekend taking on Los Angeles Football Craft. Before we go to our thoughts and score predictions, thank you for doing the key thing, Shrek. We go first to Alex Thomas with the weather report in 3, 2, 1.
And now, an ACES radio exclusive.
We want it now!
The Weather Report with Uncle Sportsman himself.
If I wasn't Jamaican,
Alex Thomas.
then why would I wear this hat?
It's gonna rain!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls alike, welcome back to another edition of the Weather Report with Alex Thomas. Alex Thomas, a.k.a. Uncle Alligator. Welcome back to ACES Radio, my friend.
Morgan, it's so good to be here.
Oh, my God. How have you been?
Dude, I've been fantastic. How about you?
Well, I'm a lot better now that I get to see your non-Jamaican face, my friend. I'll tell you that much.
It's just partially Jamaican now.
I'll tell you what. I'm a little bit of a scientist. You know that about me.
I've heard that.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, Morgan, your experiments are great. And they entertain the children.
And you can put up like 43 points in a basketball game.
Yeah, close. I mean, if you give me like 2-3 games. Yeah. Anyway, so it's raining outside right now.
Yes, sir.
We're in Columbus, Ohio. It's Thursday afternoon.
Longest
Thursday
day of the year.
Longest day of the year. They call that the Summerman Extreme Spring
It's the
break.
Summermans.
Summermans.
Yeah.
It's raining here right now. What's it going to be like in Los Angeles, California, for when Cruisers FC taking on the Los Angeles Football Crafts this coming Saturday night?
The Los Angeles Football Crafts of 2008?
That's right.
Well, it's going to be gorgeous, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
As Los Angeles weather typically is. We're talking like low 70s, low humidity.
Ooh.
Just gorgeous.
Is
sun.
it like jacket weather at night?
For them, probably.
Yeah.
For us, it'd just be nice.
Like, they're like, finally a chance to wear jeans.
They got those guys like the chicks roller skating by in the bikini, and then there's like just a dude lifting like free weights on the beach. You know how that is.
Do I ever?
Yeah.
Of course I do.
You live that lifestyle.
I pretty much all the time am doing that.
Yeah.
Roller skating and lifting weights on the beach.
Yes.
Because I multitask.
Yeah, indeed.
What else? Winds. Are they coming out of any specific direction?
No. I think it's like 1 mile an hour out of the north. It's going to be a gorgeous night, man.
All right. I mean, like, if I'm going to... Should I go? Is that what you're saying? Think about it?
I think you should go.
I haven't been to an away game this year.
I think it would be Los Angeles' treat if you win.
Rough Lads.
Get ready for the Rough Lads, bitches.
Yeah.
Screw El Trafico. I'm El Capitano. That's
there you go. Bring that pocket recorder you got.
My name is Will Trapp.
Yeah.
I put Los Angeles on the map. I'm El Traficano.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Always good to hear AGS Attack. You got anything
I got
else
one
for
quick
us?
question for the panel.
Oh, yeah, please go ahead.
Which is Latin term for podcast.
That's what I hear.
So I got an email from the ticket rep
All right.
and said that there's a deal going on for $17.76. Bring a friend. Right? Which is cool. But they're billing it as...
That's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, Ralph Schudel would let you know that. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're billing it as 2 games with fireworks. My question to the panel is, there's going to be fireworks in the stadium on June 30th. But is that second game against Saprissa, are they seriously advertising the fireworks as the fireworks downtown?
That's what it sounds like to me. Like back-to-back firework games, like only one of which we're paying for.
The other one is downtown?
Like,
would they do that? Are they seriously going to do that? That's my question.
I think that you answered your own question.
It's
man.
a suspicion.
Like,
I don't think that they... come on, man.
We actually have a quote from Anthony Precourt about the double post-game fireworks show, if you'd like to hear that.
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
So how about I come over there and go to town on your money and on your ass?
Oh, he was talking actually to the Atlanta ATX council is what that was.
It's been so good to be here, Morgan.
Oh, what a treat. Alex Thomas, thanks for stopping by. Now we know what the weather is going to be like in a place that we won't be on Saturday, but that's fine because this is a part of the show that we do every week, and you know, like that's it. So we'll talk to you later.
Smoke weed every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Thomas with the weather report. Dragbo Scrinface. That was a very long weather report that gave you no good information.
It was.
You had a hot take it looked like about the fireworks. Is that right?
Yes. Let me ask you a question. Red, White, and Boom.
Yeah.
Taxpayer-funded
Correct.
Event.
Yep.
Mafre Stadium.
Sure.
Facility in which Columbus Crew plays the majority of its home games.
Taxpayer-funded stadium.
If the team is promoting a taxpayer-funded set of fireworks as a part of you being in their facility, I mean, isn't that a continued situation of 9.67? You have just taken new taxpayer benefits to this upcoming month for your team. Way to go, PSV.
Oh, my God. I can't believe they've done
That
this.
will go along right with the newly paved little half road thing there.
That's pretty dang cool.
I don't know what they call that road, but they made it newly paved. With
Please
white
don't talk
lines.
about this. This is called the
I think you
interlude.
played it over my talking.
Todd.
That's different.
That's a good point. Yeah, you played the drop over the talking, not the other way around.
You know, a foamy latte makes me farty and bloated.
That's pretty dang cool.
Was that from you? Was that your podcast?
Never heard of that. I don't drink coffee.
He's absolutely right. Moving on. Cruisers FC taking on Los Angeles Football Craftsmans this week. It's our first game after the World Cup break, Drabs.
Yeah.
What a long break it's been.
Right.
As is tradition. Your thoughts on the upcoming match, my friend?
Yeah, apparently half the defense got hurt while resting.
I still don't get it.
I don't understand how that happens.
They do
but
this
it's
thing
not
called
great.
practice. I'm not sure if you're
They
familiar
should-
with what
well,
that
clearly
is.
they shouldn't because
Yeah.
that's how people get hurt. They should send players off to the World Cup and they
Andres
won't get
Mendoza
hurt
is like,
there.
I totally agree. No one should practice. It's very inconvenient to my lifestyle.
Guillermo didn't need to practice.
Neither did Gino Padula, and they were fine.
Neither does Messi. Oh wait.
Oh, yikes.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
are we being real? He's still the greatest soccer player that ever lived, so...
Anyway, so so we've now got some players.
I'm
that
on
are
Team
hurt.
Ronaldo.
The rest of the team should be rested,
Yeah.
traveling across country for that great 10:30 p.m. kickoff.
Thanks, MLS.
Thank you for not making it a fucking afternoon game.
Yeah, you know what's great, Drabs, is that not only do we get to fly across an entire continent to play at 10:30, we then get to fly back for the next game against Real Salt Lake and then fly back to Los Angeles.
Back,
the same goddamn city we were just fucking in and play another goddamn away game instead of just doing I don't know, like a Saturday, Wednesday thing or perhaps even a Saturday thing. Back to you.
Yeah, no, that's great.
What do I know?
Yeah, you know, LAFC's got a little schedule congestion because they just played a really hard-fought game against Sacramento.
Oh, man.
In the Open Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like they must have played some of their starters because I actually recognize some names. But LAFC is a good team out west. They're not They're not the tops, but they're up there. I know nothing about them other than that, so it should be a challenging game.
I mean, anytime any MLS team flies across the country, like even if you're like the world-beating, dick-smashing 2017 Toronto FC, like if you fly to Vancouver, you don't play well. Like you just don't.
Especially when you're playing when you'd normally be thinking maybe I should go to bed here before a lot longer.
Yeah, and I mean, like you need not look any further than Nate Beckman. You know, when he does his whatever the hell it's called, forecast Nate, did the forecaster.
Forecast for Columbus.
Forecast for Columbus.
Yeah.
Brought to you by ZZ Boots, Wildman's Leather and Lace. Like Home Team FC is always a good bet, especially when you're traveling hundreds of thousands of miles, which is how long the United States of America is. Todd Fichtenberg, the number one boy on the number one podcast in the number one soccer market in America. We ask you the following question, my friend. Your thoughts on the upcoming match?
Mine are about the same. LA is a decent team. They did have that U.S. Open Cup game, which I think it's hilarious for playing Open Cup games during the World Cup. I think it's hilarious for playing league games during the World Cup, but that's another story. But they played the Sacramento Republic FCs, which, by the way, I think is where PSV is threatening to move the team that's not in Austin, I think. But they had the lead twice, and Fellhaber scored, Diego Rossi scored. I'm not sure in terms of starters where they're at. I do know that it's pretty cool that Will Ferrell owns a part of the team.
That's pretty dang cool.
I
Will
think
Ferrell could own part of our team.
We're rested, but we're also playing with. Well, I shouldn't say playing with, potentially not playing with Zach Steffen. Now that's terrifying because
he is out.
The drop off, like it's officially out.
Yeah,
he's officially
definitely out.
Yeah, he didn't make
I
the
read
trip.
knee bruising this morning. Is all I read.
He did not travel with the team. Yeah.
Okay, then
Staying here, getting an MRI.
But Kempen played in LA, the real LA. So like that's home cooking. I don't know.
Well, the drop off is just fantastic. Maybe they should put like Lawless or something in goal or something.
Maybe
I would pay to watch that game.
Eddie
That would be
Gabbard.
fun.
I already do.
So
Yeah.
So I'm honestly not that optimistic. I know I'm supposed to be Sunshine Brigade, but I think playing at home with a pretty large crowd. Actually, when you watch them on TV, that they don't seem to fill up that stadium. I don't
Because
know.
they literally don't?
I don't know what the official. I think the official attendance stats are like 50,000 or something like that each game or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
that'll be fun
garbage.
to watch, and I am looking forward to all the tweets about attendance after the game.
Well, you compare them to
LAFC is-
Chivas, like it's good. You know, like their original incarnation, it's good attendance.
Yeah, in LAFC, the one it's reported they're jacking up their prices like 40% next year.
Are they?
Yeah, I think I saw that.
No,
on
that's
Reddit.
FC Cincinnati that you're thinking of.
Well,
They're
no,
no
they're
longer
going to be
doing-
more than 40%.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no,
fair.
but like one of the LA teams is literally like their fans are outraged because their ticket prices are going up crazy amounts, and it can't be Galaxy because why would you pay more for them?
What, was there an increase in prices on Groupon?
And then also even parking, like you see the signs, people paying like $100, $150. to park.
What?
Yeah,
Get out of here.
check it out on Twitter. It's pretty funny, but it's like
I won't. But how would I? Would I just search like
search
what is the parking?
LAFC parking probably.
What is what is the parking cost?
I don't think there's a
where's the
hashtag for it, but it might be one of those.
How
People
would I
like,
check it out, Todd?
Like at your home, you say, "Hey, park on my lawn for $100." Somebody might do it. So
I say that all the time. I say, "Come on in, $100," and they're like, "But where do you think we're trying to go?" I'm like, "I don't know, to the park." And they're like, "There's no park around your house." I'm like, "That's."
is this the part where we do score predictions?
I'm like, "That's true, but why? Like, where you could go to, like my neighbor's house?" And they're like, "Well, why wouldn't we just park out front?" I'm like, "Oh man."
Morgan, the podcast isn't over yet.
What's that, Darp? Oh, okay. No, this is going to be a tough game.
Why haven't you been recording this?
Tune in to find out. LAFC.
He's not even on the recording.
LAFC, they currently stand third place in the West, right? They have 24 points. They're averaging 1.71 points a game. That's decent. That's decent as hell. They have 7 wins. 5 of those wins have come on the road. Only 2 of them have come at home. They're unbeaten at home, but in 5 games, 3 of them have been ties. You look at one of the last couple games that they played at home. They played DC United, team from the East, team that we would slaughter, 1-1 tie. They played NYCFC, That's a good team. 2-2 tie. So that tells you that it's not an impenetrable fortress there in Los Angeles. It also tells you that a result is possible. Drabby Scranfus, first placeman for one more week until he fails and is taken over by the continuing champion, Morgan Hughes. Your score prediction for the match, my friend?
I'd like to say a win, but I think the card, there are too many cards stacked against us in this context. I would be really happy for a tie, and I do actually think that'll happen. I think being rested, other than our defense being a little lacking, I feel like we put a couple in, so I'm calling for a 2-2 tie. So Chivas 2.0, 2 goals, Columbus 2 goals. Hashtag, how did Zach get hurt? Hashtag, appeal D's, MLS.
I'm really upset that you just wrote that after looking at my card. I'm pretty upset about that.
I didn't look at your card. I can't even see your card.
First
Also,
of all,
it's not a card, it's a whiteboard.
Yeah, it's a whiteboard, Todd.
Same thing.
These people from Michigan just don't get it.
So-
Todd Fichtenberger.
I just tried to look at his board and I couldn't.
You mean his card?
His manly forearm is in the way.
Getting the bulk this week, Todd Fichtenberger, back to you.
Well, as Morgan was talking about their form at home, some of them are ties. They have 3 games in hand, as is tradition on the crew.
Every team.
And so we only have 3 more points than them. I'm going with a tie. I might have predicted a win if Zach was healthy. Even then, that'd be optimistic. But that's why I'm going with a 2-2 tie.
Ooh.
For Lost Artificial Fake Club gets 2.
Oh, man.
And Columbus Cruisers FC 2. Hashtag pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Hashtag EF13. Hashtag hating all season. Hashtag Sunshine Brigade. Hashtag GER. Hashtag Weltmeister. Hashtag pray for Coda. Hashtag save the crew.
Now, those are a lot. That's a lot of hashtags. First of all, it's pretty dang cool. You screwed it up.
That's what I said.
Darn. You said darn. It's
I mean,
dang.
he had to use the non-profanity
Yeah.
version.
I can't believe Pam would be very happy that you screwed that up. So
I did
I'm going
screw
to
that
roast
up.
you.
Oh, man. That's okay. We'll edit this out. 3, 2, 1.
Clap.
All right.
Second of all,
Hashtag
I want
pretty dang cool.
all 7 Aces Radio listeners to use the hashtag pray for Coda. Can I ask you a question, Todd? Is it the number 4, or are we spelling out the...
It's the number 4.
The number 4.
K-O-T-A, not the C like the bus, but K-O-T-A.
Are we capitalizing Coda in all caps?
That shouldn't matter.
Like Dom Tiberi. Moving on.
Dom Tiberi's the master of Twitter.
That's true. You can tell by the caps. I say Columbus Cruisers FC 1 soccer goal. Football Crafts 1 soccer goal. I wrote 1-1 and then I erased it and I put 2-1 loss.
Now here's the thing: if you get a 1-1,
Morgan's not done.
if it's a 1-1,
yeah,
you lose 15 points because it's wrong.
Because it's the opposite.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you. I know what you're saying. Hashtag fuck Michigan. That's for you this week, Todd.
Go blue.
Hashtag Amber Kern Pendleton Hughes. Because, I'm more of a Kelly De Niro person. Got to also give it up to National Player of the Week, Amber Kern. She gave birth to my dog. Hashtag definitely on the girls. I'm a 3-4 man. Hashtag digging for poop. Got to remember next week for sure to erase
Definitely
that.
for sure.
I got it. Hashtag Rambo and
Hey, why don't I do
Rambo
that right now
Gooner
for you? Here, let me
is
erase it
because
now
of,
so you don't
I'll
forget.
take
It's a
care
good
of
idea.
that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is because of Rambo. Hashtag there's only one Dragbo scrin face. Hashtag thanks LD. Hashtag you're a racist. Hashtag where's Ekbo? And do you remember on segment 1 we were talking about Landon Donovan being a racist?
Yeah, I do.
Segment 1 was
Way to have
yesterday.
your finger on the pulse there, Morgan.
I completely forgot about
Also, we will text John maybe at some point and ask for his score predictions. Or
I'm pretty sure that Danielle's going to take care of it.
Or we just let him not predict and no, we wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because we're best friends.
He's going
I
to
will
say
text
2-1
him.
win. I know John Zadar. I know him inside and out, Darbs. I know what he feels like. I can
Inside
smell
and
him.
out, you know what he feels like?
Nah, that's not what I said. I feel like
That's
you're
what you said.
you're spinning my words in an unnecessary
definitely a
manner.
3-4 man.
I'm a 3-4 man. You know that. Hashtag Amber Kern Pendleton Hughes. And John says 2-1. He says 2-1 Chivas USA. Todd, do we have any, or Darby, do we have any volunteer opportunities this week?
Not really, but you should go up to Cleveland this weekend if you want. There's on Sunday. There's a Cleveland SC match. Cleveland SC would be USL team.
Cleveland Smart Casual.
It's a lower division soccer team. They're doing a Save the Crew night, much
Yeah.
as the Eagles did. We're going to have some rough lads up there. You
Yep.
know, we'll have the tent and the table and stuff. We got some people from Akron who are going to join in and help out.
Yep.
Should be a good time. There's no crew game on Sunday, so it's
true.
Make a day trip of it. Go up there. Maybe visit Hoppin' Frog on your way up there.
Ooh, what's that?
It's a brewery.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go check out Great Lakes. Like a lot of good beer in Cleveland.
Like
So-
just the lakes in general, or what?
Great Lakes Brewing Company.
Oh, okay.
Morgan.
See, I'm more of an Endeavorman myself.
You're more of a whatever beer somebody puts in front of you, man.
I'm more of a taking the piss out of you right now. Yeah. Speaking of taking piss out of people, Drabs, I gets a direct message on Instagram because that's how some people communicate.
Who does that?
Tom Mathers.
Oh, okay.
Tom Mathers says to me, in Scottish, so this is a different language. He says, Morgan, are you going to Cleveland for the game, for the Save the Crew game? And I says, Tom, please speak English. And he says, there'd be whiskey in my boot socks, is what it says to me. Tom Mathers will be there. So if you're in Cleveland this weekend for the AFC Cleveland, was it Columbus Crew?
Columbus? I thought it was Columbus SC. Admittedly, I haven't been paying as much attention, but this is a really good thing.
Oh yeah, no. I remember when I set this up, Darbs. I says to the president of Cleveland.
Looks like the Greek dude
Who's the
as their
president
icon.
of Cleveland currently, Morgan?
Oh, Ken Dorsey. And I says to him, Ken, thank you for having me, and
Yeah,
thank
it's
you for
Cleveland SC. Why are you making me second guess myself?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like a
There it
Greek
is.
person. Is the Greek person here
Yeah.
to talk about it?
Yeah.
And they're NPSL.
NPSL,
is
of course. Is that the same league as the Rough Lads from Detroit and the
I think so.
or
Yeah, so
Columbus
they're in the
FC?
Midwest region.
FC Columbus. Okay.
Yep.
Hashtag
But yeah,
rise together.
they reached out to us. They were really interested in doing something together. So we were absolutely ecstatic to be a part of it. It's their final game of the season also.
Nice.
So that's another good reason to go.
Yeah, all joking aside, if you live in the northern part of the state or you're from central Ohio or southern Ohio and you just want to go up for a game, shout out to SC Cleveland for helping us out. It's going to take all parts of this place we call Earth to save the crew, and thankfully that's the kind of places that are tuned in to find out. Todd Fichtenberg, what's GCG Bag got going on this weekend?
Well, they've got a private jet that they're going to fly everybody out who wants to go to the game
is
in
that
LA.
right? Oh, nice.
So just meet at the airport.
Okay, what time?
I'm thinking 7 o'clock Eastern time
What
should get us enough time to get
Day?
there.
What day? Tonight?
No, Saturday. The
Oh,
day of the
Saturday.
game, yeah.
Oh, it's like the same day we're going
Yeah,
out
so
and
they're
back.
grilling on the plane.
Oh, it's like an out and back type of thing.
The crazy part is you won't have to worry about running into Andy or Greeley or Precourt because they fly Southwest, want to get away fares, so you won't see them on the private jet. So.
Okay. All right. Fantastic.
Also, real quick,
Oh,
the
here it
Cleveland
goes.
SC tickets look to be as cheap as $6. So seriously,
Oh,
you're not
so if
gonna
you're a fan
get-
of FC Cincinnati, it's slightly more expensive than
Yeah,
you're used to
like
paying.
That's about a 600% upcharge.
Oh, my fucking God. A quote from Rambo Gooner. He just got this text message drop. He says, quote, my name is Rambo. The Rambo and Rambo Gooner is because of Rambo. And also, quote, I am the person who invented soccer in this city. And it is because of me. And then I also got a follow-up letter from Josephine. And he says, we love your show. Everyone in Cincinnati is a Crew fan. And we don't. What is this orange jersey all about? We don't understand it. I'm in the Bailey. It's a protective area around a castle.
Well, thanks for listening to everybody. Have a great week.
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah,
end
no,
the show.
do your outro. Do your outro, Todd. This is awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for
Hold on.
listening. Have a great week.
No, it's way longer than that. Please keep going. Do a sign off like you're on a podcast for Columbus.
Oh, that's pretty much it.
No, you have 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Come on.
If you enjoyed the crapologry that was segment 3,
God damn it, Todd. All right, you know what? Start over. Here you go.
you're editing all this out, right?
No, do it. Do your thing. Go.
I don't have a thing. I just basically say thanks for listening, and then that's it.
See, you're never going to get listeners if you don't have a thing, Todd. Got to have a thing.
We do have a thing. We talk about soccer. That's the thing.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard. Dude, come on. There's only like 20 seconds left in this. Come on. It's almost the end of the show.
Dan Kennedy, get on the plane, fly out there to LAFC, where the stadium is built on your relatives' bones. Get out of the tree, get off the seesaw, get off Morgan's table, get out of Pam's shoes.
Or get into Pam's shoes.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us laid. Ow!
Dude, don't pretend like you're busy working or something, dude. You know you're in bed, just looking, watching PlayStation or something like that.
That's the word on the street.